Yeah, that's right. It is time for game time here on a lovely Monday afternoon here in Los Angeles, California. I'm telling you,
about right.
we're self-isolating, self-quarantining. All the days are just flowing into themselves, and we are doing it live, though, for you all. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Outlaw Nation Network to talk about a little bit of sports. Look, just because they're not playing the games doesn't mean there isn't a lot of sports news happening. So I'm excited to be welcoming back to the show my man who's been here since the debut, and that is Mr. Jay Washington. How are you, Jay?
I'm good. I have nowhere else to go. So where else am I going to be but talking sports with you? I mean, I can't go to the gym. Like, let's be honest. If this was a normal day, I'd be at the gym right now, which means after this is done, I'm going to remove all this equipment and bust down and do at least 100 push-ups, do 100 more tonight, and, keep acting like I'm in my prison cell.
Yep. Sounds about right.
He'd be at the gym, and then 45 minutes later, we would receive those pictures on social media of Jay.
Actually, an hour and 10, smartass.
Sorry, hour and 10.
At least get an hour worth of workout in before you get the picture. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. That's fair.
And then 10 minutes for the proper filter.
Let me tell you something. Tell you something about filtering. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure it accentuates you the best way possible. You know what I'm saying?
That's
right. You need lighten to work with you.
You got to build it up.
Right.
And the gentleman taking those shots over there on the right, one of the gentlemen with the best hair in the business over there, Ben Goddard, joining us today. How are you, man?
You're beating me lately every day. I can't get this weave under control, man. I was gonna get a haircut the week of the free for all, and that obviously didn't happen. So now I'm struggling over here.
I know. Look, people are dying and they're getting sick from the coronavirus, and we, of course, our hearts go out to all of them. But let's be human beings for a second. Some of us really need to get a haircut. We hit that wall, and you're like, I gotta get my haircut.
Shouts out to every dude that need a haircut and every woman that want to see a beauty salon. You ain't seen a lot of selfies from them at all. They like, I'm staying for camera.
My dad was coloring my mom's hair last night, and it was the cutest thing ever. But my dad is no hairstylist. It was very cute.
That's genius. Lindley looked over at me last night. She goes, I think you might need a haircut. I was like, I know. I might have her shave it all off, to be honest with you, because if these people aren't coming back to cut hair for another few months, I'm just going to
let me tell you something.
Good.
Just wear a cap and roll until it gets back.
You better get you a barber that know how to come through your crib, Lysol himself down with the equipment and go to work. I know a bunch of homies doing that. They like, hey man, look, I'll drop 50. Hell, look, they going up like, yo, I'll drop you $50 if you can just come by my crib right now and just, you know what I'm saying, hook me up.
Dude, it's crazy.
Some people want a haircut bad enough. They'll do it.
I guess so.
It's bad.
We're here to talk about sports, and Winston Marshall will be joining us in a little bit himself coming out. He's been shooting something today all day. Thank God for him, and shout out to him. He'll be joining us as well, and we'll have a little fun talking sports. And of course, if you want to send in your super chat to Streamlabs, please feel free to do so now. I'll be checking those periodically throughout, and some of you may want to come into the chat and come and talk with us live. I'll be posting that link in just a second for Jake Iacobetta and whoever else is moderating today to be posting that link over and over again and put it up there. So we'll go from there. All right, thanks everybody for joining us, and let's jump into this thing now. And that is the NFL. Let's start there. The NFL owners are formalizing a 14-team playoff. My God, if you don't make the playoffs, you must really suck now the way it's going with the NFL. They are ratifying it to expand it tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow, and it's set to begin in the 2020 season. They're going to do this all over conference call because none of these fools want to give each other coronavirus. That's true. Yeah, you're right, Ben. That's the right reaction. It is on the heels so quickly.
I did not realize it was happening now.
And they're going to decide how teams are going to be included and seeded for the postseason and which TV networks will carry the games. It's also the discussion is also set to cover which days the additional games will be played. Right now, it's increasing the postseason field from 12 to 14. So you go, okay, it's 2 more teams. Doesn't seem that much. When you're already at 12, though, and I remember when the second wild card was added, there was a lot of drama, a lot of controversy around that because it starts to reduce or remove a little bit of the exclusivity of qualifying for the playoffs. So there's a little bit of people, there's some pushback on that, but pretty much everyone believes this is going to pass tomorrow, and they'll negotiate everything tomorrow. That makes for 6 first-round games. So it's under the proposed format. So let me clarify. 7 teams in each conference qualify for the postseason instead of the current 6. Only 1 team in each conference, rather than the current 2, receives an opening round bye. So the number 1 team gets the bye. The number 2 team does not. And that makes for 6 first-round games, 3 in each conference instead of a total of 4. And what's yet to be formalized, what they'll be discussing is which networks will carry the extra games and when they will be played. The league schedule could be 3 games for Saturday and 3 for Sunday on the opening playoff weekend, or one of the games could be played on Monday night. But that might create a competitive disadvantage. A lot of people are saying because one team will get to rest less than another team. So you listen to all this. Ben, I'll go to you first. You hear all this as first time here on the show as a full-time player here. What is your feeling? But what is your feeling about all of this as it's coming down?
Strictly competition-wise, I realize, especially when it comes to football, there's all the health factors, there's the roster factors, there's money. I get it. But strictly competition-wise, I don't mind it. If anything, NBA needs to take less teams to the playoffs because NFL, the Titans just showed us being a 6th seed, going to the AFC Championship, and having the Chiefs having to come back against them, almost going to the Super Bowl out of nowhere when no one thought Ryan Tannehill was their backup quarterback leading them to the playoffs. No one thought they were going to do anything. So the NFL, there really is no sure thing. I feel like, yes, there are obviously favorites, number 1 seeds, and you bet for them. But there's very rarely ever like this team is for sure going to win. Because look at the Ravens. The Ravens were the best team the entire season. Lamar Jackson was unstoppable. Didn't do a damn thing in playoffs. Not a damn thing. And I was just shocked at anyone because Lamar Jackson was legitimately Michael Vick 2005 Madden player that year. It was crazy. He was unfair. But so I would be okay with this competition-wise. I do have a little bit of problem with like the number 2 seed losing the bye because that really undervalues the number 2 seed. But I like adding another team. I realize that it's basically half of each conference, but you do get I feel like you get maybe like another Seahawks-Niners game. You get another Packers-Bears game. You get like these conference rivals that are just battling out the whole year. Then they play in the playoffs and have that tiebreaker or something. So I don't mind it. What about you guys?
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, Jay. The Rams and the Steelers would have made the playoffs. Now, you're an old school watcher of the league for quite some time, just as I am, and you get this extension of 2 more teams. At this point, does this seem to be too much? Or is this just about financial? This is a financial grab and everything like that. What do you think?
I don't think it's too much. I think it is a grab all around, but also I think this was inevitable. The current playoff format was never going to stay the way it stayed. It always has expanded. I agree with Ben about the number 2 seed, but also it makes every single team play harder for number 1. Yep. The stakes are now higher. You don't have these teams where it comes the back half of the season, they slow down now. Now they have to play. That makes
no more resting.
No more real resting. Also, when it comes to the networks, which ones carry it, I wrote this note down, so I wanted to make sure I remembered it. I think the networks are going to go by which one has the most viewers and draws the most ad revenue. So you're guaranteed to see Fox games. That's always going to be a big thing. You'll get a couple of ESPN games, and you might get 1 or 2 outside of the wild card NBC games. CBS will have their normal amount, but I think Fox will take over the majority of these off jump. And about the Titans, Ben, think about it. The Giants won the Super Bowl being a wild card team.
Yep, they beat us on the way. That was our best year with T.O. and Romo.
They were a wild card team, so it's definitely possible. They beat the Patriots, right?
Undefeated Patriots.
Undefeated Patriots being a wild card team. So again, I think this format is great. I think the fact that now you have the league has 30 teams or 32. I can't remember. Right. 32 teams.
32.
14 teams make it. Okay, it's 18 people who got to realize it's either step up or step off. No longer is there this quick. Oh, well, we're 8-8. Let's just trash the season to try to get a lottery, try to get a high draft pick. That's not the case anymore.
No,
everybody's balling to see where they can go.
Yep. Well, and then let's break down the numbers here. 43.8% of the NFL's 32 teams will now make the playoffs in this current format. It's going to be voted on tomorrow. That's still the second lowest percentage among America's 4 major sports. Major League Baseball has the fewest playoff teams at 33.3%. The NHL is at 51.6%, and the NBA is at 53.3%.
Yeah.
So the NFL still maintains a level of exclusivity in their playoff format at this point. But this has been going on for the last few years. In 1978 is when they added a second wild card. In 1990 is when they added that third wild card team to 2019 when you had 12 playoff teams. That's when that happened. So we haven't messed with these We haven't messed with these the playoff format in almost 3 decades now. So this is something new, and we're coming into the 3rd decade actually. So this is something that they waited some time to implement in that way versus adding the 3rd wild card team only 12 years after they'd already added the 2nd wild card. So, but why do you think this is happening? Why do you guys think they're doing this? Yes, I get the financial grab, but is it also about do they think like, well, including one more team adds to the excitement of the playoffs, adds to the X factor, the unknowing, adds more mystery to the playoffs of who's going to win, who's going to lose, or do they think deserving teams have been left out of the playoffs?
I'll give you you're going too far with this. I'll give you one flat answer. It gives people more football. Yep. Every season, every year, people keep saying by the time the Super Bowl is done, we want more football. That's what everyone keeps saying. This is how you solve that. This is how you rectify that. Now, the next step will be we've added a playoff game. The next step is we're going to cut down a preseason game and add a regular season game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And exactly what Jay said is that the NBA All-Star game works. And especially this last year where they were playing their ass off in that 4th quarter, you saw it worked. The Pro Bowl does not give that to people. The Pro Bowl is nothing. And I like watching the Pro Bowl because you want to see your favorite players. But when they're basically not even playing flag football out there, which I get, you don't want to get injured because like these dudes are in contract year. This game's worth nothing. I totally understand it, but it's not worth watching. But when you have, and I mean, hate all you want, the Cowboys are a big draw team to watch lose or to watch win. Either is fair. You have them just missing the playoffs. You have like Baker Mayfield and the Browns, hate him or love him, they were a big draw this year because of all the hype, just missing the playoffs. You have these teams just missing the playoffs, and that's a big ticket draw. And, you talk to the NBA, maybe there's the Baron Davis Warriors beating the Mavs that one year, but who's going to at least make the conference finals. You have the top 4 NBA teams. 85-90% of the time, you can nail them down pretty well. And those are 7-game series of just mostly 4-0s, maybe 4-1s if they really want to drag it out. And you're just like, okay, come on. Let's get to the Warriors Rockets. Let's get to the Spurs Suns. Let's get to, the Raptors Bucks like last year. But like, people complaining that there's like too much NFL playoff football. It's like, but at least they're games. Like it's the biggest team sport where an individual performance can completely be irrelevant. You can have a receiver catch 150 yards with 3 touchdowns and still lose. You can have a running back run for 200 yards and still lose. Look what Derrick Henry did. Derrick Henry put the Titans on his back and they still lost, but they won a few games and that was awesome. So I do like this because the football is the sport to add more teams because it is more of a toss-up.
Yeah, but then you worry about the situation that there are teams that might sneak into these playoffs who don't deserve to be in these playoffs, and they're essentially cannon fodder for teams.
But that's not that team's fault. That's every other team that allowed them to sneak by. Remember, you've had teams who were sneakily having those records. What was that year? I think it was the Dolphins or the Jaguars. It was one of the Florida teams that was sneaking up having a dope record, and nobody. It was the Jaguars. They were having a dope record, and nobody was talking about it. And so that's on the other teams they're playing. I don't think there ever will be a team that's just like, oh man, we ain't got nothing to do. Let's just throw the Arizona Cardinals in there. I'm just using them as an example, but there'll never be that case. You're going to have teams who are going to play and who are going to come up on the back end, and the people will complain and say, well, look at their schedule. That doesn't matter. It literally, what matters in this game, and when we talk about the football is wins and losses. No one says, well, if they would have played against this person or if they wouldn't have played against that team, that's all that's going to matter. You're going to have those teams who are going to have those schedules that they're going to be able to creep up into the run-ins and may sneak in that 7th spot.
Yeah, well, Ferris Mathuna said in the super chat here, he said, "Go Giants." That's all I got to say. So shout out to him, another NFC East boy over there, Ferris. Is it Muthana? Like Jake Iacobetta was trying to correct me how to say it correctly. So Ferris, if you're getting offended, please feel free to correct me as you will. Also, Jake is putting it in the chat. If you guys want to join us live, ask your questions live, there's a StreamYard link. Get into the waiting room and join us. You get pushed into here, and then we'll pick you up, and you can ask your question live of us here. Anything you want to talk about, we'll jump into it. So there you go. I agree. I mean, I worry about the 8-8 team that has no business making the playoffs. That could affect ratings. That could affect money as well. People don't want to watch.
It does not. Teams aren't playing the number one seed, though.
And it doesn't affect money. Yeah. People want to see that 8-8 team, what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I guess so, but you look at the NBA. Remember the NBA? They were putting when they have you're a crappy team when they're putting your playoff games on the NBA TV network. That's when you know that you're a crappy team when your playoff games show up on that network. So is the same thing going to happen in the NFL? Well, the crappy teams are going to show up on the NFL network.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like those crappy NBA teams, the 8 seed is playing the 1 seed in the NBA. That's not going to happen in the NFL. They're going to play another wild card team. They're going to play another 9-17, maybe 10-6 if they, they're going to play an equal footing team that just made it out, got the divisional seed, not the wild card seed or something. It's not going to be a 1 versus 8 in the NFL playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it'll be 2-7. Is that right? 2-7.
If it goes that way, it should be. If you go that way, it should be 2-7, 3-6, 4-5.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Fairs Mathuna. There it is. That's the correction. Thank you. At Fairs Mathuna or Ferris. Or Ferris. Oh, Ferris. He's a righteous dude. I know that, Ferris. All right. Anyway, let's move on. There he goes. Make sure to send in your questions here on the Streamlabs. Thank you, Suge Knight, for moderating. Jake Iacovetta as well for moderating as well. Let's move on to our next story, and we'll see what happens. I mean, they vote on it tomorrow. They're not going to vote on any of the provisions. Those things will come up later on down the road. They are still going to do that draft. I know Ben Goddard and I have been texting about that. They are going to still do that draft. There's going to be nobody there. I don't know if they're going to do it a streaming draft, which is really weird. I don't know how you celebrate in your living room at your house.
Easy. Drafted with same way.
It'll look like college basketball though, where everybody just jumps up and down because they got selected. I don't. It would be weird to me, but okay. I like the idea of the terrible suits. They better dress up. They better wear the suits. They better wear the whole 9. They better hug a stand-up of Roger Goodell. That's how you do it.
No, what they better do for Roger Goodell is they better have him there in a hazmat suit and they feed in booze from around the world.
Exactly.
Like everybody just gets on a microphone around the world and they just say, he goes in, I'm Commissioner Roger Goodell. Just an echo reverberating.
Everybody get on TikTok and record your biggest boo for Roger Goodell and then just send it into the NFL.
That's a tradition. That's a tradition.
Exactly.
All right. Brandy just donated, said, no questions, just support. Go Titans. Go Titans. Well, there. Hey. Titans fan. All right.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Coming out of the woodwork now.
Yeah, do it now.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And we'll see what happens with the Titans going into the Titans. That was a team that people were looking at to possibly take on Tom Brady. And this story just kind of came over on ESPN. I wanted to touch base with the guy staying in the sphere of the NFL. Tom Brady here. This was on ESPN's Get Up on Monday. This was today. The general manager for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jason Licht, he told Mike Greenberg that in the first phone call with Tom Brady on the first day of free agency, that was on March 18th, Brady was actually the one selling them on why he should go to Tampa Bay. I mean, what? Why are you selling yourself as a 6-time Super Bowl winning quarterback to go to Tampa Bay? He said, quote, he said, quote, we had a great conversation, Bruce and I, and that's Bruce Arians being the coach of the Buccaneers. We talked to him for over an hour, that being Tom Brady, and a half, and he made it clear in the conversation that he was very, very interested. It was almost like a recruitment on his part, telling us why it would make sense for him to come to Tampa Bay. The next call we made, we signed him, but it was at that phone call that we realized that we felt like we had him. All right, Jay, you were chiming in. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, you better sell. Look, it may sound easy saying, oh, should Tom Brady have to sell himself? Yes, because you're on the downward swing of your career. You're on this. You want to play last few years. Yeah. But it's same. You got to save yourself because you got to sell yourself because you're on the downward swing of your career. Nobody knows for sure what you're going to do. You got to convince people that you're not playing with their emotions about to go back to New England too. Because that's another thing. Everybody was like, oh, he just talking to everybody in terms go right back to New England. So you got to convince people why you going to go. Also, you got to listen. You're coming into their systems. You got to make them understand. You can't change the game just because you're Brady. You're coming into something that's already going, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, you can help modify a few things, but you got to make them believe this is going to work with you. So I don't really see anything wrong with it.
Really? Okay, fascinating. Ben, you look at this thing. He went on further. Hold on, real quick. He went further. He went on further to say the tape showed us that he had plenty of arm. In fact, we thought that he had an ideal arm for Bruce in his system.
Hey, man.
The 20 years late.
What are we talking
Hey man, let me tell you something. Let that man sell himself. Look, that man still making demo real. Tom Brady is the only NFL future Hall of Famer we know sitting at home in front of Final Cut Pro, cutting himself in clips. Like, all right, hold on for a second. Let me move this over here.
Bro, I can't finish my hosting reel. This fool is doing a reel.
How do you add sound effects to an audition tape? Can you help me?
Hey, kids, you know how to add the overlays, right? Dad wants graphics right here. Can you show Dad how to do this? Like, let Tom Brady do this work, man.
Is this the one with the puppy filter? Is that it? But no, like,
oh my God, hold on, Giselle. They just demonetized me off YouTube. They said I can't use the music. What am I supposed to do?
No, I don't mind this. I think it's funny, like, because it is like, I'm sorry, it is Tom Brady. He showed that he can. Granted, it was his worst year, but he can still play. This is like Shaq going from team to team to team to team. You didn't hear Shaq selling himself, like, because he's Shaq. And granted, he was getting injured every time he went to the free throw line, but he was still Shaq. And but no, I appreciate it, but you don't need it, Tom. Like, I love the enthusiasm, and that's what makes me wonder why people don't like Tom Brady. I get why you don't like the Patriots. I can totally understand why you can hate the Patriots for a multitude plethora of reasons. But to not like Tom Brady's always been so strange to me, because he has the supermodel wife, he has all the rings in the world, he's the number one quarterback of all time. But he seems like such a down-to-earth person. He seems like he's just a football guy. And it just happens to be he's the best football guy that ever was. And I like that he's still, like, no, guys, I can play. And I'm just imagining, like, the GM's like, we know. Yeah.
I just love the audacity that we had to look at that. We looked at the tape.
We looked at the tape. Yeah, it's great.
Wait, I just want a picture. You brought up Shaq selling himself. I can picture the phone call. I was like, I feel like you should give me, because you know what I'm saying, I'm a future Hall of Famer. Kobe do want to pass me the ball sometime, and I made D-Wade learn to pass me the ball. Also, I got to go buy medicated powder. You know what I'm saying? I get people like when I was the general. You got to help you save money.
Don't forget to send to the general.
So I can help you save money with the car service with the general. Also, I can fit my big ass in the Buick. I don't know where they found a Buick that big, but you want a big Buick with Shaq. Shaq should be on your team. You need Shaq Diesel. Also, Charles Barkley don't know what he's talking about.
I will say that Shaq, that's just terrible, man. Terrible, man. I know what I'm saying.
Listen, I should go to the team, need to be a team, because listen, everybody need me. Kobe passed me the ball. Kobe passed me the ball. I finally told Kobe, you got to pass me that ball, Kobe. And then LeBron was there. LeBron was like, look, Shaq, you losing your hair. And I was like, LeBron, you got to take off that goddamn headband. I'm Shaq Diesel.
Damn, your English is terrible, man. English is terrible. It's terrible. You know, one of the great cameos of the Tiger King thing was seeing Shaq walking out with two tigers.
Hey, ain't nobody gonna talk about this.
Right, they just glossed over that real quick.
We just walked over Shaq walking out with tigers. Like, wait a minute, like, shouldn't he be?
I know. Literally looked over. She was, wait a minute, he's got tigers, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. I guess he's got tigers.
I got tigers at my house. One is named Tony. The other one. Well, when his name is Chester. I know he's not a cheater, but I feel like I call him Chester.
Insane. Oh, and for more imitations, you can send in $20 in your Streamlabs. Turn on the
Amazing. I will gladly be the Ernie Johnson of this show.
Oh man,
I'm done with that. I think that's one of the funniest things in the world. Looking at this, we may have a guest. Hold a second. Straight from Tampa Bay, Florida. What? It is Cody Hall up in here.
Hey, he's completely frozen. Yeah, there he is.
Cody freaking Hall.
Yes. What's up, buddy?
What are you talking about right now?
Oh, the audacity of your general manager to say that we watched the tape on Tom Brady and said that he made the cut.
It's been a lovely couple weeks for me, guys. Oh man.
Listen, the fact that we kept talking about Tom Brady was sitting up under Final Cut Pro for like 8 days, asking the kids and Giselle, how did he apply filters? You know what I'm saying? How does he do wipes? And then he had his video demonetized twice on YouTube because they was like, you can't keep using Tribe Called Quest Award Tour. Like, you can't keep doing it.
Oh my God. What is this all about? Your general manager saying that he was the right person for the team and then Tom Brady pitched himself to Tampa. What is this all about, Cody?
Yeah. I'm sorry. So there were other options that were possibly better, is what he was saying. And he had to he pitched Tom Brady.
Staying home.
30 Jameis Winston. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Apparently, Tom Brady pitched himself and made a tape and sent it in to the guys. What is that?
That's amazing. I don't know who needs to be convinced to bring that guy aboard. I'm just ever since this news broke, I've been laughing about it every day. I can't believe it. And I'll take all these pieces.
It's like Bill Gates.
It makes no sense, John. Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I was reading this ESPN article. It's like obviously with everything going on in the world, this has been pushed to the back burner. This is Tom Brady leaving the Patriots. This is such huge news, and because of for the Bucs to go down to Tampa, Florida,
makes no sense, man.
Again, Tom Brady had to make his own highlight reel. Y'all let that man live. Tom Brady was like, I got to show I'm more than just Giselle's husband and Ugg boots. I got to show this.
It's like watching tutorials.
Do the kids still like Thunderstruck by AC/DC?
I like Bruce Like saying he can still throw the ball deep. Oh, yeah, can he? Oh, can he? Yeah, he can. When he's got receivers, he's going to be even better. How excited, Cody? This isn't like when Jordan came to my Wizards. This is a still capable, still damn good quarterback coming to your team. Are you in cloud nine? Are you afraid that you're going to wake up tomorrow and it's not true at all? Is he going to rip his face off and it's actually Jameis Winston underneath? What are you afraid of here?
What is this, a Scooby-Doo episode?
With everything that's happening, I'm convinced just the NFL season isn't going to happen, and the one chance I had to have Tom Brady isn't going to happen because of the stupid freaking virus. But
don't worry, you're still gonna have to pay him the $30 million.
That's true. It's fully guaranteed, of course. But realistically, when I first heard this was happening, I was like, I don't know if it's really gonna work. He's coming off his worst season, but then I thought about it. He actually has weapons now, so that's great. And oh man, I'm at a loss of words, guys. It's great.
Woo! Is Deshaun Jackson still on the Bucs?
Oh no.
Okay.
Jameis couldn't hit him for a single deep pass in the 3 years he was there.
That guy is so crazy fast, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he doesn't perform all the time. Trust me, as a Redskins fan, I know all about Deshaun Jackson, that Jekyll and Hyde play. It's insane. All right, Cody, thanks so much for chiming in, man. Didn't mean to bother you.
No worries.
Appreciate you calling in.
Good to see you, bud.
Later, Cody.
Take it easy. Tampa Bay.
There it is, Cody Hall. I reached out to him while you guys were talking about a lot of people mentioning Cody's tweets, so I thought I'd see if he could jump in. And damn, if he couldn't jump in, and he happened to be wearing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers shirt. Perfect timing.
So
Perfect
awesome.
timing.
Gotta love it.
That's what you get on Game Time. You never know what's going to happen on Game Time. There you go. Anyway, so we'll see. Tom Brady, this is all exciting, but I love the idea that he had to pitch them. And I wanted to say before we wrapped it up, I think that speaks to Tom Brady's character, right? Remember, this is a sixth round pick in Michigan. He was sitting behind, Elvis Gerback over there at the University of Michigan. So he's a guy who understands what it's like to do hard work and achieve things. Yeah. Do people get mad because he wins all the time because he's good looking and he's got one of the most beautiful women in the world on his arm? Absolutely. They left another woman who was pregnant. It was an act. Yes, people get upset about these kinds of things. But the man does what he does in his life, and he's successful.
He left a pregnant woman? Wait, what?
Yeah, Bridget Moynihan. Look it up. And so when he jumped, you got to look it up, Jay. When he does what he does, though, he is uber successful at what he does. And so the part of that is the feeling that he is always the underdog. Even when he is winning, he thinks he is always the underdog. And that speaks volumes to why he prepares the way he does, why he's created his own system of how to get ready for a NFL season. And that speaks volumes to the kind of character this guy is. He's a hard blue collar worker, and Tampa Bay is incredibly lucky to get a guy like that who's going to change the attitude and the atmosphere of that team overnight.
Yeah. All he said that he wanted was his teammates' phone numbers. He was going to give up number 12. He was going to give it up. Because he didn't even, I think another receiver or someone has it. He was going to give it up, and they're like, no, we'll give you number 12. He's like, I just want my lineman's phone number so I can talk to them. He seems like a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jay's on TMZ.com over there.
This could go a long way to kind of redeeming.
Tom Brady is like Superman and Superman Returns. Oh my Jesus.
Oh yeah. Tom's no joke. But this is like Tom. He could be completely redeemed by this move if he leads Tampa Bay to a Super Bowl title, kind of like LeBron did, coming back to Cleveland and leading that team in his second year to a title. He could absolutely redeem himself 100%. And all the people who said they hated him, they'll have to begrudgingly start to cheer for him or respect him at the end of the day. And then his journey is complete in the NFL, and the circle is complete, and the loop is closed, and he can ride off into the sunset as one of the greatest that's ever been, for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Remember, we got your Streamlabs coming in, got super chats coming in. We had some comments come through here. Let me grab one of these here real quick and put it up on the air. There it is. It's on Instagram. PRL18 saw the Instagram response by Shaq about Tiger King. I have not seen the response.
Well, let me go to Instagram right now. My computer. Excuse me.
When you guys can find it and read it. Also, Haskell donated. He said, it's happening. TB's in SB, and it's in Tampa. There you go.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. So he could walk out as the first ever quarterback to play in a home stadium in a Super Bowl. That would be incredible. So we'll see. Oh, Drew Henson was the quarterback at Michigan, I guess, that he was behind. All right.
I got the Shaq quote if you want it. I got it right here, John.
Okay. Read it.
O'Neal addresses connection with Joe Exotic as transcribed. So we go in there, and it's a beautiful place, and the character that was there was Exotic Joe. We're there, and I dropped some donations for the Tigers' food and all that, O'Neal said. We take pictures with the Tigers. We went back a couple times. Then we go back another time, and we found out that he's involved with all the stuff, and then actually I stopped going. Added O'Neal, I don't harm tigers. I love tigers. I love white tigers. Do I put donations to these zoos to help these tigers out? I do it all the time. Do I own tigers personally at my house? No, but I love tigers. Listen, people are going to make their own opinions, but again, I was just a visitor. I met this guy, not my friend, don't know him, never had any business dealings with him, and I had no idea any of that stuff was going on. I should have had Jay read that in the voice, honestly.
That's right. Send
that to me real quick. Send it. Put it in the run sheet real quick, Ben. Copy and paste it in the run sheet.
Oh my gosh,
ridiculous.
We got over 20 of you all watching us live right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Please swing your cursor over, hit that like button, get us over 100 likes as soon as possible, and more as soon as you can. Swing it over there, do that. Remember, sending your Streamlabs, sending your super chats, and Jake is posting the link to have you all come join us live, ask us questions live here on this live edition of Game Time. Let's move on to the next story here real quick, and then we'll jump into some people who are waiting to talk to us. The Tokyo Olympics, the opening ceremony has been rescheduled for July 23rd, 2021. This was on the docket already from what a lot of people were saying. It took the pressure of other nations saying they weren't going to send their athletes for it to finally happen. This is the Tokyo Organizing Committee President Yoshiro Mori said the schedule for the games is key to preparing for the games. This will only accelerate our progress, and it's going to push back other things. And the reason they pushed back a whole year instead of doing it later on in this year, just in case they got to handle the coronavirus, was because there were some other people who were competing and finishing up qualifying for the Olympics. So they wanted to create enough space for people to do that. Some people said, why not do it earlier in the year, next year? But they thought it would coincide with a lot of other sports events that were going on. So they thought they pushed it now to a later time in the year, next year, later in the summer, rather, in July 23rd, which I think is a smart move. Maury, he said the cost of rescheduling the Olympics will be, quote unquote, massive. Local reports estimate that billions of dollars, with most of the expenses borne.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Taxpayers. Yeah. And this is the situation they had with the Brazilian World Cup too, that all this money was going out to helping these stadiums or building these stadiums, but these people weren't getting the benefit of that money being used. Muto also said since the Olympics were scheduled for this summer, all the venues had given up hosting any other events during this time. So how do we approach that? In addition, there will need to be guarantees when we book the new dates. And there's a possibility that this will incur rent payments. So there will be costs incurred, and we will need to consider them one by one. I think that will be the tougher process. Katsuhiro Miyamoto, who is an emeritus professor of sports economics at Kansai University, said the cost could be as high as
it's emeritus, by the way.
I'm sorry, emeritus, yes. Emeritus $4 billion, and Japan is officially spending $12.6 billion to organize the Olympics. And they have spent $5.6 billion of public money to make it happen. So madness all around with how much money is involved in the Olympics, for the love of God.
Well, a lot of people forget that. A lot of people think it's just a matter of setting up your city for the games. And people forget the money goes into building the infrastructure because every city is not ready. I don't think any city is officially just plain ready to say, okay, put the Olympics here. You have to build stadiums. You have to hire workers. You have to move stuff around. It costs a lot just to set up your city, and you plan on recouping all that cost during the games. So I don't think, we hear this big number. We hear $4 billion and we're like, man, this is a massive hit to Tokyo. But at the same time, I hate to sound this way, Tokyo and Hong Kong are those two cities where when you hear they take a financial hit, it's not that long before they bounce right back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a massive hit, yes, but the effects of it won't be long standing.
Right. Ben?
And that's the thing, is that this was definitely the right thing to do. Obviously, everything's getting pushed back, everything's getting delayed or outright canceled. And hopefully this July, was it 23rd, 21st date? Hopefully even if they're just doing it with no fans, even, because I feel like we're gonna be talking about, baseball delaying the season as well, and hopefully coming back in May later on in the show. I do feel like we could play sports with empty stadiums. And I realize, you still have all the stadium workers, you still have the business for the shops around stadiums. And, we talked, ages, eternities ago, we were talking about how big of a deal South by Southwest and all these music festivals and how much Austin was losing. And so much so that it might not even come back next year. The losses are going to be so big from South by Southwest. True. And so it does have such a ripple effect for the entire economy. So, and yes, Tokyo is such a big tourist destination that once everything gets back to normal, they will bounce back. It will be a while, but they'll financially recover. But it's mainly about those businesses and everything and hotels that we're going to profit from all this, everybody coming to this worldwide competition. But hopefully by July we can at least loosen the quarantine restrictions, so athletes, you can run 10 people in a race on a track and field with judges and cameramen, and that's it. Nobody in the stadium, no fans, maybe trainers in the locker room, but even that, you gotta pace it out. But it's really unfortunate. Obviously there's more serious consequences with people's lives and stuff, but when it comes to this, these people have been training their entire lives for this moment. And I think we already had the Olympic trials. I literally think I ran.
No, we haven't had them all. We haven't had them all. That's the thing. We have not had them.
So I was gonna say I ran through an Olympic trial to get to the venue for Schmodown. That was literally in Atlanta. I was running across the street while a marathon was going on for the Olympics. And so it's unfortunate that all these especially for swimming, basketball, stuff like that. They're NBA players are playing in the team. So, they play for the Olympics for their country. Track and field, this is their Super Bowl. This is their NBA finals. This is what they have trained their whole lives for, to get to the Olympics. An NBA championship is much more valuable to LeBron James than a gold medal. Carmelo has 3-4 gold medals, and people are like, whatever, they're just gold medals. This is what these guys have trained for, all the shot putters and javelin and high jumpers. And so it's really unfortunate for them that they get pushed back even a few months because it probably, messes with their training regimen, or gets them out of shape, or they get injured training in this delay. It's
right. It could be an issue, right?
Yeah.
And Will Watson chiming in with a super chat says, "What events did you join in the first Olympics, John?" Oh, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you, Will. I appreciate that very kindly. Let me tell you something. Greco-Roman wrestling, and if I ever see you again, I'm going to show you what I did. Will. I'm going to take you in that chair and flip you over my head, and we'll see what's up there. Shout out to Big Wheel. I love the Wheel, man. I always love his ball busting. He's the best.
Oh, that was good, Will. Thank you for that.
It was good. We got J-Dog waiting on us. So he wants to jump in and ask us a question. Jay, what's up, dude? Always good to see you, my man. Let me take this brand down.
Always.
What's up?
Hey, guys. There you go. There's the 2000.
Oh.
Did we lose him?
I think so, a little bit. Let's see if he comes back. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit for JJ. All right.
There we go.
Oh,
yeah. Got it.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. Just got this in the mail today. It was 3 weeks ago. I was supposed to get this 2015.
Oh, we're going to get one piece of what this baseball is one at a time.
All right, Jay. I guess we got to.
By any chance? Anyone? No?
What's that?
A little bit. We kind of got you. Go ahead.
All right. Guys, is anybody going to do any live stream of WrestleMania on Saturday or Sunday? You guys are going to do a reaction of some kind?
I don't know, Jay. Yeah, no, Jay's answering for both of us. I mean, I have no interest in seeing this.
I'm gonna watch it because I want to see how they pull it off. I mean, granted, the production of this is going to be phenomenal with no fans because they've had time.
That's the best wrestling clips I've ever seen. I don't mean to be sacrilege, like that Stone Cold thing where he's like, "Can I get a hell yeah?" and the announcer's like, "Hell yeah!"
And then now, if you notice, because now if you notice, they took the seats out the PC. You notice they replaced them with LED boards, which is smart.
Yeah.
So I just wonder, I want to see the production level of what they're going to do, how they're going to make something so massive on a small scale here. So I want to see what they do with it, but I don't know if I can live stream it. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch it because I want to see all the changes that are happening because, boy, it's so many changes about to happen to that card that I know of and that people have heard because so many people are sick. So many people are injured. So many people will not wrestle. So it's going to be amazing to see what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Bryan said he's not going to wrestle. Oh, no. See, Daniel Bryan's going to wrestle. Roman Reigns is not going to wrestle.
He can't. Roman can't.
Will wrestle.
Roman can't.
Leukemia and everything.
Roman can't. The Miz is sick. So the tag team title match will not happen.
Right.
Asuka possibly will not wrestle. Because she's like, she doesn't want to do it. They are going, and luckily, I don't know about Vince McMahon really, but I know Triple H has been in the forefront saying, listen, we're not holding it against everybody. When we all know Vince McMahon's like, you're fucking wimps. Get out there and do your job. Like, I want in my heart to believe that Vince would be like, all right, I get it in this situation, but Owen Hart died and the show continued. Now, I understand the show goes on regardless. I get that. There is a level of difference. But in this case, everybody like, I don't really want to do this shit.
Andrade broke his Andrade, he broke his rib while they were filming a match. They had to take him out and replace him with somebody else mid-match and reshoot the whole match, guys. So when I heard that, I was like, just cancel the show already. This is a farce.
Because what was happening, and I know I'll let us go past this real quick, because what was happening was they had to film about 4 or 5 weeks worth of Raw and SmackDown. So the guys and girls were working exponentially hard. Like some people have done 2 matches in one night. That's no thing. But when you're going 2 and 3 shows back to back, that takes a very big toll on your body.
That it does. And I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I don't want to be spoiled. I haven't read any spoilers. I don't know who Goldberg's opponent's going to be. My money's on Triple H. But I don't know that for a fact, and I don't want to know until I actually see it on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, well, stay away from. They announced already who it is, so stay away from the internet.
Oh, great! They already announced it.
Yeah, they announced it. The WWE made the announcement. It came out.
Oh, okay.
It's not
okay, gotcha. All right, I'll check that out. So, but other than that, anything else? Spoilers? I'll go to WWE's Twitter page, and that's it. I don't want to go on any of these dirt sheets like Ryan Satin's pro wrestling sheet. No offense, Rocha.
No. I'm not saying anything. All right. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. Don't get me in trouble, you son of a bitch. All right. See you.
Neither shit. Don't do this. Not just Rocha held me too. No.
It's not a dirt sheet. Ryan reports legitimate stuff, man. All right. Let's move on to 2 more people waiting to talk to us. Suge Knight. What's up, Suge?
What up, Suge?
Oh, wow. Didn't even know I was on. I was typing in your chat right now. My bad.
Come on.
Well, you did both.
Well, I just did it in the Streamlab, and I was doing both at the same time. Have you guys gotten to the top 5? Your starting 5?
No,
that's the end of the show.
Well then we'll get. I wanted to say my top 5, so I'll wait. All right,
Shook. We'll take you out. All right, let's bring in the Wheelman. How about let's see what the Wheelman's got to say. What do you got to say for yourself, man? What do you got to say for yourself?
Well, you wanted to see me so bad.
Oh,
yeah, I do.
So I just thought I'd call in. You got a wannabe heel, and Jay.
Oh! I'm the wannabe. I know that.
Oh, yikes.
I'm going to have to clarify something for you real quick.
You got some things to say, don't you, Ben? I mean, there's some craziness going on in this.
I'll save it for tomorrow. We got a whole show tomorrow from backstage.
We do.
I'm on your side.
Okay.
All fairness.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I know you. I don't know Frankie Numbers, who should stick to numbers.
No, Frank's good. Like I have no beef with Frank. Like as far as I know, Frank might be mad at me, and I totally understand that. But I have no beef with Frank. Frank is real good at his job. I didn't even mind what he said about on the rundown. He's got his opinions. That's literally what he's paid to do.
Yeah.
And he does a good job with Brad. Him and Brad make a great team. But it was the tweet afterwards that got me.
Show.
Yeah. It was the tweet afterwards that got me that was like directed at me and that was just insulting, not sports analysts. That's what got me. That was the only thing. Yeah. But no, everything Frank does for the rundown and what he does for the schmodown in general is gold.
Oh yeah, I mean, I felt the steam coming out of your ears through all that. But no, just wanted to swing by, especially after you started mouthing there, Rocha. I thought I would call in.
Yeah. Get ready, Will.
But yeah. See, the great thing is,
I can, man, when I get through with it.
Yeah, I'm rolling and I can still outrun you.
Oh man,
it's only because it's automated. It's only because it's automated.
Exactly. I got multiple speeds. But no, just wanted to swing by and say hi. And then I know y'all were talking about the Olympics. I mean, that is wild that it's got delayed and how it's going to affect like all the Olympics going forward. Yeah, because it's all spaced out, you know.
Yeah.
So you don't and you still don't know when all the regular leagues are going to start
in a month and a half.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe.
Supposedly.
Yeah, if everyone stays indoors, but you have people going like needing to go to the farmers market here in LA, it's just like, God, people.
But just stay safe out there. I know you've probably got people waiting. So.
Oh, you're good. Will. Thank you so much, man. Always good to hear from you.
Thanks, Will.
I'll let you go on, and I'll leave you alone for a little bit.
All right, brother. Take care. Thank you so much for chiming in. Always appreciate when Will chimes in. He's always got funny little comments, and I'll get back at him soon. Don't worry about it, Will. You'll wake up one day, I'll be over your bed, and you'll see what's up. All right, let's move on to our next thing, and let's stay up in the highfalutin era, and that is Wimbledon. Wimbledon is going to be canceled this week. It's the first time since World War II. That's that Wimbledon has been canceled. It's not going to take place. German Tennis Federation Vice President Dirk Hordorf said the necessary decisions have already been made. Wimbledon will decide to cancel this Wednesday. There's no doubt about it. This is necessary. The current situation is completely unrealistic to imagine that with the travel restrictions that we currently have, an international tennis tournament where hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world will travel. That is unthinkable. The All England Club does Wimbledon every year. They're holding an emergency meeting on Wednesday. The Wimbledon was expected to start on June 29th. So this is June 29th. We are still in April or March? We're not even in April yet.
And that's the thing that's really getting me now at this point. I think some people now the low range of everything being decent and minimal is about mid-May. To start canceling things June, July, August, I think that is panic in any situation. Because
it's ticket sales. Because I feel like Wimbledon is
that too.
Granted, it's a huge thing, but he even mentioned hundreds and thousands of fans. Because tennis, and we'll get to the golf thing that we talked in the rundown. Tennis is definitely a sport where you could play 1-on-1, opposite sides of the court. You don't shake hands. You put the chairs on the opposite side of the court. You have the line judge, and that's it. You can easily play tennis without fans. But it's just about the ticket sales. So I get it. Like, even at June, are you guys going to be wanting to travel? Are you guys want to be I might not even want to go to the movies.
Let me tell you something. The moment I can get out of LA after this, I'm hopping on a plane. I will wear my Bane mask on a plane. You better quit playing. I'm going home. Matter of fact, if I don't
have fun with a random spot check, then, sir.
Check me, TSA.
Ooh,
check me.
This quarantine's been real. I need that thorough search.
I need that love and attention. Go ahead and make sure I don't have nothing on me.
Just touch me, please, for the love of God.
I agree. I think people will see. The thing is, everybody is saying that's the argument. Let me say this. Will people want to travel? Will people not? It is legit almost 50-50. There are people who, because they can't go anywhere, want to go everywhere now. There are some people who are going to be like, I don't know. But at the same time, that level of cabin fever will catch up to them eventually, because now you have the option to leave and go do what you want to do. It's going to happen. And again, I agree with ticket sales. But as far as like, they're going to slowly but surely, trickle in these crowds. That is going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, look, China closed their theaters all over again a couple of days ago or a few days ago. And some people were saying it's because they were afraid of the coronavirus spreading or a second version of this thing coming. Other people were saying because people weren't going. Even when the theaters were open, people were still
that's what it was. Everybody,
that's what it was. Afraid to catch this thing.
When nobody going. I don't think it was because there was more cases. It's people were like, I don't think we should go. But that's an issue. That's going to be an issue. And we're going to have to, as a society, as a human society, are going to have to get past that, because everybody's talking about they want the economy to restart, right? Fair. Yeah. If your country, your nation gets we're good, we basically have this under control now. Granted, you're not going to get rid of it altogether. You get it under control. People are going to have to start doing stuff again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree that like China and Italy, places where I feel like we have it real bad right now, but we don't have like almost the death tolls that China and Italy and Spain. Spain had a real bad week last week, to put it simply. But like we almost need to be like scared stupid for us to stay indoors and to not, because people are still out. Like you can't look online without seeing just plain numbers, whether you want to call it fear mongering or not. But we need for people to stay indoors. Americans are going to be out and about as soon as someone says, I think it's okay. Everyone's going to be at the theater.
You know what else doesn't help? Around. You know what else doesn't help? When people Google numbers, you just brought it up, Ben. When people look at the number of people on the planet in comparison to cases and deaths, that is one of the main reasons people are going out. We have almost 750 million people in the United States alone. When you tell somebody, it's about 60,000 deaths, if that, somebody's like, that's not even a fraction of what it is. And I understand the severity. I understand if one person spreads to 3 and all that. I get that. But when people look at those basic numbers, they're like, I'm going to take my chance. And that's what's been happening. You have 700. You have these towns that don't have that many people. You have even towns like LA where we have 5 million people here. Where people like, look, I'm one of 5 million. I think I'll be okay. Yeah. Well, and you've got people who are passing away from this left and right. I mean, you saw Joe Diffie died over the weekend. I have no idea who that is.
He's a country music star. He died over the weekend. One of the British boxers, his father died from complications. Carl Anthony Towns' mom is in a coma from the complications of coronavirus. So this is affecting so many different people, regardless of social status, regardless of your ability to have anything. They said a child as young as 12 years old has contracted the virus and could be one of the deaths. They're still clarifying that. And that tells you it's not even an age bracket situation thing anymore. So it's all this stuff could be really affect across the board. And will people get used to just staying at home? We're talking about this with the theaters and the movies and all that jazz, but we're on a sports show now. We talk about sports. Are people going to want to run out and go to a stadium and be around everybody else and possibly contract some new version of the virus that the people don't know about? Who knows? And that could affect the bottom line of this whole thing as well. Wouldn't be surprised if it starts to affect the bottom lines. Watch all these contracts being renegotiated in the NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB. Think about that, because just today, and I didn't put it on the rundown because you guys aren't soccer fans. Messi and Barcelona dropped 70%. They agreed to have their wages cut 70% just so Barcelona can stay alive as a football club. Real Madrid is next. Some of the German teams have done this as well. So this is starting to happen to affect teams that spend a lot of money on their brand.
That's international teams. Players. Our teams aren't going to do that.
Yeah.
Our teams are going to have the players are going to have to do what they're doing already, where you have players who are donating out of their own pockets.
Right.
But to hear
they'll renegotiate salaries to keep it legal.
No. They'll use the unions, the NFLPA and the NBAPA. They'll use those to the death of them to keep that from happening. And especially the MLBPA, where they just started unlocking these major bananas deals. These crazy deals they just unlocked. They'll do that to fight.
But nobody shows up to the games.
No, I get you. No, I get you completely. Yeah. But at the same time, you'll have that. All right, well, if I cut this down, if I cut down my contract, let's not cut down. Let's cut the overall amount, not the guarantee. That's what'll start happening. And so the United States, people have to stop looking at the world and comparing what the United States as a whole will do, because the United States has always acted differently. They may follow suit, and then they may do their own thing. And we've seen recently the United States as a whole is going to do its own thing. And unfortunately, it's not the best thing.
Right. It's not always the best thing. That's for damn sure. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, this whole thing is just going to keep touching all kinds of sports. They pushed the French Open, which was supposed to start in May. They already pushed that to September. So Wimbledon now is canceled. So not even
delayed.
Canceled.
That's the crazy thing. Just canceled.
Yep, which means we won't not have a champion this year in Wimbledon. It'll be next year, and it'll be a 2021 champion, not a 2020 champion. So that tells you something as well. First time ever in the history of Wimbledon since World War II. So pretty incredible stuff. All right, just a reminder that we've got Super Chats and Streamlabs. All that is open for you all. Please send in your questions. Let us know what you want to know from us here on the Game Time panel. Let's do the Suge Knight. He donated. He said, "Good afternoon to the Mad Titan, the Bandit, and the Outlaw. The virus has affected the movie industry, but can we say sports has been affected the most? Also, how will this benefit esports?" This is a good question. What do you guys think about the esports situation and how it'll affect and we already talked about how we think it might affect sports overall, but esports we haven't touched on. What do you guys think?
I've talked to Tyler, the esports writer that's doing the piece on the Schmodown, and he said it's hit them pretty hard as well. Granted, like, you do still have, you can play video games from home, you can play them online, but there is that latency, that lag that comes with online play that you don't get when you have people, landline connected, that you don't have that glitch. Like, if anyone sees that movie Gamer, Michael C. Hall talks about the ping, that tiny delay, that tiny delay that puts you at a disadvantage. And it depends, like, if the server is in Chicago and I'm playing here in LA, I'm going to have worse lag than someone playing in Chicago or someone playing in Florida. And so you have all these disadvantages for esports to have these nationwide huge tournaments. And so, it is affected. And, hopefully we're past the point of not calling esports actual sports, because they are. And you saw a 16-year-old win $3 million at Fortnite. Sorry, that's a sport if you have those kind of cash prizes. And so it is affecting them, but granted, they still can have some type of online tournaments. They can still have that to keep those afloat. But I know a lot of Call of Duty teams have shut down production. A lot of Fortnite teams have shut down production. It's affecting everyone. And I don't know if sports have been with the Olympics being postponed, that's a pretty big one, but it's hard not to say, like, it's probably equal cost with billions of dollars being lost by the movie and TV industry as well as sports.
Yeah. And I think we're not going to know the cost until this whole thing is over. We're not going to know who is actually the number one loser in this whole thing financially, overall, sports or movies and entertainment. We shall see. But you're right, Ben. That's a great point you bring up. So many big studio films are being pushed to move around. And I read today in Forbes and I read in the Hollywood Reporter, their breakdown of how this can overall affect. Vox did an article about it as well, how it overall will affect things in 2021 and the financial cap and ramifications of these studios going forward down the road, not just this year or next year, but down the road as well. And it's quite daunting to think about that.
Like we were talking about the Olympic schedule, the blockbuster schedule is so meticulously crafted through every year now. There was like a 20-year anniversary the other day someone brought up, and there was like a rom-com, an adventure film, and like a thriller, and they all made the same amount of money in the 90s. They were all very successful. That does not happen. Everyone would have gone to see the exciting action thriller, and the other two movies would have bombed if they tried to compete with them. And now that Marvel has their weekend in the month, Disney has their weekend, Star Wars has their weekend, DC has their weekend.
You know what's funny? All three of those you said at first are still Disney. It's crazy.
I know, but like they don't want to compete with each other. That's what I'm saying. Like, Lion King got its own. Lion King was the summer. Aladdin was the beginning of the summer. Frozen was Christmas time. So like just pushing just any of these back, just Black Widow, it's going to have a ripple effect. Just the Eternals, let alone Wonder Woman, Fast and Furious getting pushed a year, all these blockbusters. And it affects TV shows too, because are they going to be sitting at home on a Thursday night watching the CBS show, or are they going to go see Wonder Woman now that it's finally out?
Yeah, good question. We have some Streamlabs have come through here. We'll see what happens. Of course, obviously, with Wimbledon, everything going down the pike. There's still stuff to be figured out down the road and financially to be cost out. We'll see. One more here from King Nirvana 24. He says, Dark Side of the Ring, New Jack. Who's watching? Oh, I'm totally watching that one. Jay, you watching that one?
I want to. Again, I've been trying to do so many other things, and I want to catch up with as much as Dark Side of the Ring. Again, New Jack was like an uncle to me for a while, for reals. Like, getting to know him early in my career. So all the crazy shit you gonna see in here, it's real. All of it's real. Just let me let you know in advance. Oh yeah, it's real. It's the
trailer was 45 seconds long, Jay, because they knew they couldn't give away everything.
Yeah, like he almost murdered several people in the ring, like legit murdered. Like he didn't give a shit because it was like it's a wrestling match. They know what can happen.
Yeah. Well, he said, I like the line in the trailer. He said, I told the guy when I did this to him, they were going to talk about him for 10 years. Well, it's 20 years later, and we're still talking about him. So I pretty was wrong. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that kind of twisted logic works. Well. And if you haven't seen the Benoit one, you guys need to watch that Dark Side of the Ring, part 1 and 2 of the Chris Benoit story. It's pretty fantastic documentary about that story. And me and Aaron Turner on Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation did a review as well, which you can watch. That is on the channel now. Go and do that after you finish watching Sports Time with us. All right, let's move on to our next story. That's Phil Mickelson. He is working on a rematch with Tiger Woods. I feel like this is one of those internet things. Nobody asked for this. Me. I'm going to give it to him anyway. Phil Mickelson said Sunday that he and Tiger Woods, they're working on a rematch of their one-on-one in hopes of giving quarantined sports fans something to watch during the pandemic. Mickelson was replying to a fan online in Twitter. He said, quote, working on it. And then the fan responded, or one of the fans responded and said, please don't tease. And Mickelson said, I don't tease. I'm kind of a sure thing. Not really in majors, my man. You're not that much of a sure thing. So, let's tell the truth here. Mickelson and Woods participated in the match in Las Vegas in 2018. The two went into a playoff round where Mickelson won and claimed $9 million. $9 million. It was the first time a golf match was ever featured on pay-per-view. He said they really enjoyed it. But here's the thing. Is this something that we need to see? Is this going to really take our minds off thing, watching two millionaires bang balls around on a golf course? Do we really give a shit?
First of all, that sounded way more provocative than it should have.
I mean, that's every sport, though, ever is millionaires banging balls around each other.
Fair enough.
I don't look, golf has its fan base, but I don't think golf fan base is that rabid and quelling for it, because when other sports are on, they can go to other things. Nobody's just like, I need golf 24/7. Like, right. The Golf Channel doesn't have a high level of standard and ratings what it needs to have. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you got to have a 6-point share every time. They're like, probably not. Not till we get to the Masters. They understand things like that.
I don't know. I'll play devil's advocate with saying that the same people that love to watch golf are the same people that are saying that I'm willing to die for the economy. So maybe they are going to be willing to pay the $20 pay-per-view to watch their two favorite golfers. So it is that same demographic, jokes aside, like old white dudes love golf, and that's fair. My dad is a huge golf fan. I think this would maybe, if they're playing on, a tiny course with, like, they don't need caddies. They can golf cart around. No one gives a shit. So let them. Like, I think this will be fun. I'd love to see like a one-on-one golf tournament with two of the best golfers in the world. I think that would be fun. No, it's not going to quench all the sports thirst that there is, but it's a nice distraction, and that's what we need, is a nice distraction.
But are they two? They're not two of the best. Not anymore. I mean,
Jordan Spieth is not involved. Right. You don't have Jordan Spieth involved. Like, if you're going to go the best, yes, they're legendary. That's a big difference.
They're both top 10. They're still both top 10 golfers.
All right. I'll have to look that up. And I don't think it was $20. I think it was like $75 for this pay-per-view thing. So it was a lot. Yeah,
if
I know the first one was, I thought like they'd lower the price a little bit to help everybody out.
If I pay $75 to watch Tiger Woods in a pay-per-view, I want every time he's up to putt, I want a full reenactment of the night Elin whooped his ass every single time.
Exactly.
Oh no, you were right. It was a $19.99 on pay-per-view. Damn, you were right there, Ben. I did not know that.
Okay.
I thought it would be way more than that.
I just threw that. I thought it was like $50 the first time at least. So I'm surprised it was that cheap.
Maybe it's $9.99 this time around. We'll see. We'll see for sure. Either way, it's crazy overall. I mean, I think, look, they're trying to do something, certainly, because they can't play against each other. They can't do anything against each other. So clearly, if they need to play or do something to distract people and, get involved in the situation, at least it gets people's mind off things. So I thought I was just trying to kind of counter this whole thing and be like, is it really necessary? Do people really care? But clearly they might. There's a lot of avid golf. Certainly Josh McCouga, Mark Ellis, two massive golf fans.
But that's like you have
each other through whole tournaments.
You have someone like I don't want a stuffy golf analyst. I want a Mark Ellis and Josh McCouga commentating this thing. Mm-hmm. I want Bill Burr out there on the golf course or something like that. Make it tongue in cheek. Make it fun. If you're going to do this, go full Happy Gilmore with it. Like, just have fun with it and like appeal to a wider demographic when it comes to this. Cause this isn't for a gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit? Like, just have fun with it. And I feel like they would get a lot more pay-per-views if you had a comedian or someone like commentating on it, like being the color analyst. Like, I think that would be great.
Welcome to the Canto Bite Invitational.
He's not a stormtrooper.
Not a stormtrooper. Hole in one. Hole in one.
Hole in fucking one. That guy Tiger Woods over there, he's fucking wicked good at golf.
That's a birdie. All right, we're waiting on Winston still to come in. We don't know what the situation is. The update.
He still ain't came in.
This is the live stream of Winston right now. I don't know where he is, so hopefully he'll show up at some point and join us. But for now, we are enjoying ourselves. Oh, here we go. Don Logan says, for the record, according to the PGA, Tiger Woods is ranked 11th in the world. Mickelson is ranked 63.
63. So oh my gosh, woo. I did not know Phil had fallen so far.
He's 900 years old.
Yeah.
Hey, he's 63 though. It's not bad for 900.
Yeah, that's fair. That is very fair.
Love for you. Boston Ben is great, says Sebonius. There you
go.
No. Add it on.
Exactly.
For that one.
When SCN comes back, I'll be doing a Boston and Russian Ben. That sounds fun.
Talking to each other. That'd be brilliant. Yeah. Don't go away. We're going to be talking about our all-time top five NBA players, or a team rather, players you'd have on a team in just a few minutes. And we're going to get to all of that. I've been delaying it a little bit, just hoping Winston will show up in time to talk about it with us. If not, the three of us will certainly tackle it. And I've already got Suge Knight sitting there, just chomping at the bit, waiting to talk about it himself. So we'll jump on all that in just a second. Two more stories before we jump into that. And that is Rob Manfred here talking about the Red Sox investigation. You remember Rob Manfred? He is the commissioner of Major League Baseball. He also said that the World Series title is a piece of metal. So he said that he is optimistic. He was talking to Scott Van Pelt on ESPN Sports Center. He said he's got an optimistic outlook that at some point in May we'll be gearing back up. And he's talking about Major League Baseball. I love May. Are you out of your fucking mind? May? It's like a month away. Are you crazy? There's no way this is happening.
I think I think it is. I think it is happening.
You think so?
Yes.
In May. You think we're coming back with sports in May? Let
me tell you something. I'm telling you that you're going to have these places that are just going to be like, look, slowly but surely, things are going to start rolling. It's unfortunate. Everybody's like, oh, we'll never get over this. The thing is, you're never going to get over the virus. It's not going to be everybody's okay. It's to the point where it's manageable. And I'm telling you, once we hit this in 2 weeks, we'll hit the ultimate peak we're going to have. 2 weeks, we should have that, oh my God, look at these people that are infected in cases. After that, it's going to be, okay, this is dying down now. I'm telling you that mid-May, Dr. Fauci said what?
Dr. Jay Washington chiming in here saying,
no, it's not. No, it's not. No. I would never say I'm a medical specialist or expert. I'm just going off the way we're looking at things, because a lot of people are just like, cancel the whole year. Like, no, you can't do that. You're trying to get rid of the whole thing, and no virus is ever gone. It becomes manageable. And they're like, well, we won't have a vaccine for almost 18 months. That is not true. The fact that most places already have one. Some other countries have it. It's not saying everything's a full scale go. But things will slowly have to start, because, again, if it does not, I don't think people understand the madness and the chaos this will cause more than anything else.
I don't disagree with you. That's for sure. He just to figure out. Just to balance out Rob Manfred's comments and be fair to him, he said it's an optimistic outlook that at some point in May we'll be gearing back up. He did point out, though, that it's possible. That doesn't mean this regular season is going to start in May. He just means gearing back up, like starting the operations, spring training, these kinds of things. But he also went on to say that the league has concluded its investigation into allegations that the Red Sox cheated by stealing signs electronically. He said Manfred doesn't. He said they haven't had time to publish the report and likely due to the league's ongoing response to the pandemic. But he did promise to get the report out, quote unquote, before we resume play. And that's something interesting too, because what does that mean? A lot of people are saying the Red Sox are going to get away with this because there's not really any kind of smoking gun in this situation necessarily. Yet they took initial steps. Alex Cora stepping down as the manager of the Red Sox, all this stuff that was going on. So pretty insane to see that they wrapped up the investigation quietly. And maybe this is the time to do it, right? Wrap up the investigation, issue that report while everyone else is distracted by coronavirus, and it doesn't necessarily affect the brand of your game as strongly as the Houston Astros thing did. Because you don't hear people saying they want to go after Red Sox players the way they want to go after Houston Astros players. So maybe this is smart for Manfred to do this here and under the guise essentially of another thing going on, so people are distracted. What do you guys think?
No one is happier that the MLB season is delayed than the Houston Astros, because in the few spring games we played, they were getting beamed like no other. They were going to have a bloody 162 games. So no one is happier that maybe we'll get 40 games, 50 games out of the MLB season, not including playoffs. But yeah, just I don't want to say I'm over the whole investigation, but we all knew from day one that real consequences weren't going to come down. So it just felt like posturing to me, and especially when Manfred came out and said, "What are you guys so worked up about? The trophy's just a piece of metal." And I was like, okay, this guy just doesn't get it. And so what are we talking about now? Like, nothing's going to happen to these players. They're not going to vacate the championships. Like, they're not even going to go full SMU on them and, take away the draft picks, take away, salary, whatever you can do for pro sports. So it just feels like the fact that, I realize sports networks need news, and it's just like, they finished the investigation. It's like, we all knew nothing was going to happen. Nothing even happened to the Astros, and they had the smoking gun. They had the murder weapon at the scene of the crime, and nothing happened to them. Nothing's going to happen to their entourage or, guilty by association type people. And it's unfortunate because the fact that this was such a huge scandal, this was such a huge thing that literally, I always go back to Clayton Kershaw. This guy's reputation was trashed because of this. They said he wasn't a good pitcher. His legacy is tarnished. You can't close him out. And can you imagine that effect on you've seen NBA players? You saw what it did to Vince Young, a guy who had been winning his entire life, and then he goes to the pros and it really affected him. He disappeared for a few days. He just doesn't do well. And I get that when you're an athletic phenomenon and you lose, I think he lost one game his entire life, including Pee Wee football or something. It was some crazy stat. Joe Mauer got struck out once in high school. These guys are ridiculously good, and then when they suddenly they have all this pressure on them, they get skewered by every single person in the media, their own fans, even their own team might trade them away. Was it Yu Darvish that pitched for the Dodgers that year? Both games he got racked, and and ever since then hasn't gotten a contract. He was set to get a big ole Mike Trout type contract the next year, and he didn't. That affected his livelihood, let alone his psyche. So more should have happened for this, and it's really disappointing that it's not.
Yeah, don't disagree with you at all. What do you think about this, Jay? Same thing?
Yeah, look, you got Manfred trying to cover up from what happened with the Houston Astros, like you said. It's the baseball is tainted right now, no matter what. Baseball is tainted because even when the season does come back, you are still going to have players who are still going to headhunt at the Astros. Doesn't matter. You still gonna have players that are gonna do it. So baseball is just unfortunately tainted right now.
Hold on a second. We got ourselves another special guest coming in from his car. Mark Ellis joining us
Hey!
to counter our thoughts about golf and us making fun of the fact that who cares about Tiger Woods playing Phil Mickelson in a one-on-one match. Mark Ellis, can you correct us fools for thinking that nobody cares about this during the virus?
Let us know if you have to drop off the Arby's delivery you're taking right now. I realize that's like your full income, so just let us know.
Look, I'm out making a couple runs for a couple neighbors, and the last thing on my to-do list might be pick up a part from a friend that I need in order to play golf on my Nintendo Wii. So if you're asking me if golf is vital, it's more than vital. It's the only thing going on right now in my life.
But do you like this idea that Phil Mickelson might take on Tiger Woods in this rematch? Does this make sense? Does this excite you at all? Someone pointed out Tiger Woods is number 11 in the world, but Phil is number 63 in the world. Is this who you want to see, or do you want to see people like Justin Spieth or Dustin Johnson are better golfers that are more current, or do you think it's just the name recognition here that helps people feel comfortable having these two guys go at it?
Well, currently Jordan Spieth ain't much better golfer than Phil Mickelson. He hasn't been playing well either, but I would I think that those are the two biggest celebrities, and that it doesn't really matter what you or I think. It matters what's going to get eyeballs. And those are the two biggest names in the sport, even though they're not winning as much, because guys like Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson, while they're fun for golf fans like me to watch and root for, it doesn't move the needle. You need something that's actually going to move the needle. If you're sitting around the Thanksgiving dinner table and you say Koepka and Justin Thomas are competing, then maybe one person's going to be interested. But if you say Tiger and Phil are deadlocked on the 17th hole, everybody is putting down the turkey and they're running to the TV to see how this thing ends up.
I have no idea who any of those damn people are. He said, I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
You and my dad would definitely agree, Mark.
I'm just happy to be hanging out with y'all. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm fine. I'm gonna go crazy after we're done doing this. I already know, because then it's gonna be like, oh God, I'm here by myself. So I'm good right now while I'm talking to you all sports. Yay.
Yeah, doing good. Just hanging out, doing all these shows that we can, just to kind of entertain the fans and keep them off, keep them off thinking about all the coronavirus thing. Even though we're talking a little bit about the coronavirus thing, it's more a matter of like, okay, well, just dealing with the reality of it all, but also figuring out how it's going to affect sports and having a conversation about it,
Well, you got to talk a little bit about it, because it would be like doing a show with an elephant in a room, and you're just not even going to talk about the elephant in the room. It's like if you're the host of Dancing with the Stars, and on the stage are two celebrities and a giant fucking elephant, you're going to have to be like, hey, everybody, so we have a hazard here, and we don't want to make it about the elephant, but Emmitt Smith is going to have to avoid the elephant if he wants to win today's match.
He could. He really could.
Fair enough.
He is swift of foot. I'll let you guys go with this. I got to run in a minute. Sorry to totally sabotage your broadcast, John, but based on our buddy Adam Rank from the NFL Network's tweet earlier, I wanted to get y'all's take on if your football team could pick up any player from another team besides a quarterback. So you can't upgrade your quarterback position, but any other team, who is the one player that you would take? For the Redskins, I took Stephon Gilmore.
Mm-hmm. It don't matter for the Bears. We just need a fucking quarterback. Like, you can't, we can figure out every other position. It's just like we need a quarterback.
You're stuck with Mitch. Sorry.
God damn it. All right, well, come back to me then. Shit.
Maybe Taysom Hill. Maybe you take Taysom Hill. That way he's a regular player but can sub in the quarterback.
Man, you're absolutely right.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, Taysom Hill. Thank you, John. Thank you for that one.
My answer is DeAndre Hopkins.
That's good.
He changes offenses. He changes teams. I think that guy is an incredible receiver, and he is going to blow it up in Arizona again. If I was the Redskins, that's who I would go for. Yeah, it'd be great to get a defensive guy. We're going to get that guy in the draft already next month in April. So to me, give me a receiver that Deshaun Watson can build a relationship. I'm sorry, that what's his face can build a relationship with.
Dwayne Haskins, John.
Sorry, Haskins. I don't know who it's going to be, to be honest with you. Haskins can build a relationship with, and that would be the set for me. What about you, Ben? Your Cowboys?
I'm going to go defensive because I feel like the Cowboys are pretty good on offense. J.J. Watt, Khalil Mack. Who's the guy on the Rams? The really good guy.
Aaron Donald?
Yeah, I'll take Aaron Donald for sure. That's
Aaron
a good one.
Donald.
Yeah,
like someone on the even though I just don't know any offensive linemen. I know we need to replace Travis Frederick, who just retired, which is a huge loss for us, and Zeke and Dak. So maybe a all pro center. I don't know their names. I apologize to all the offensive linemen out there, but I'll go defensive line for sure. Just because corners, you never know. You never know with corners, like big name corners, what they're gonna do.
What about you, Mark? You said what you said. Do you have a backup choice?
No, I still think corner is too important for the Redskins because I think we have some playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, running and passing the ball, but I feel like our secondary was already bad, and it's gotten a lot worse because the only thing worse than Josh Norman in your backfield is nothing in your backfield. So,
Jesus.
I feel like
case number 2, D'Angelo Hall.
I mean, it's been slim pickings anyway for the Skins. So I think we need to shore that up before we can progress into the conversation for the NFC East.
Do you have 20 more seconds, real quick?
I got 20 seconds, and I got to drop this Arby's off.
All right, we're talking later on in the episode about top 5 NBA players that you would have on a team. What is your top 5 players you would put on an NBA team to beat any other NBA team? And I don't mean like all Chicago Bulls. I mean like who is your top 5 right now that you put on a team to beat any other top 5 team?
Current or all time?
All time.
Okay. I'm gonna go Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I'm gonna go LeBron.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Larry Joe Bird.
Wow.
I'm gonna go actually, yeah, then I'll put I might need one more 3-point shooter, so I might put like somebody who can also play D, so I might put like Clay on there. And then my big man would probably be Hakeem.
Nice.
Wow.
That's good. That's good.
Would be my big man. So
smooth.
Duncan, I'm insulted.
Yeah, so I wanted to get Duncan on there, but I just feel like I'm trying to win a game in 2020, and so but I would be very happy taking Clay off and putting Timmy in there and just having like Timmy and Hakeem. So.
Yep. There you go. All right. Yeah. Well, there's the great Mark Ellis. Right. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes. Man.
Later, brother.
All right. See y'all soon. Be safe out there. And I'll already tell you all my team's going to kick y'all's team's ass. See you guys.
I love it.
Later.
All right. See you, Mark. Thank you so much. That's awesome stuff. We got some great people chiming in here, joining us randomly on the show. Thank God they are roaming around and they're available. They'd normally be doing shows, but guess what? Nobody's doing shows.
No one doing
so they're able to chime in and join us and have a little fun with us today. All right, let's move on to our next story, our last story here, and that is the owner of the New York Knicks has tested positive. Speaking of coronavirus, James Dolan of all people has tested positive for coronavirus. What's wrong with you, Jay? You're going to get us in so much trouble. He has tested positive for coronavirus. This came over and the
hold on real quick. Knicks, okay, go ahead, Jay.
It still has your name. It still has your name. You're screwed now, son. The New York Knicks released a statement on Twitter. They said the Madison Square Garden Company executive chairman and chief executive officer Jim Dolan has tested positive for coronavirus. He has been in self-isolation and is experiencing little to no symptoms. He continues to oversee business operations. Dolan is 64. He recently donated $1 million to the Madison Square Garden's event staff who are unable to work because of the spread of the virus. So that's pretty awesome stuff. But that's some people on Twitter, you know how Twitter is. Some people on Twitter,
let me have it.
Who clapped.
And I did that for the city of New York. It's not for me. The city of New York and diehard New York Knicks fans want him gone in every which way possible. So some people will be like, look, I'm sorry it had to be the coronavirus, but we get a new owner. People will look at it like that. Like literally, that is what people would look. I mean, you guys think I'm not trying to even be funny. People hate Dolan from his treatment. They hate Dolan from what happened just recently to Charles Oakley, to Spike Lee, to the other things that's been going on. People hate Dolan. So I'm gonna be honest, it sounds very fucked up to say, and I understand that if Dolan was to succumb because of the coronavirus, people would be sad for like a half a second, and then they'd be like, well, who's the new owner?
Right. Well, another thing to look at too is the reaction did get some other New Yorker really pissed, and that is Mike Francesa on WFAN. He said, for those who actually took the time to cheer when you heard that he was stricken with virus, I mean, come on, you're better than that. That's messed up. On any level, that's messed up. Nobody roots for somebody to get sick. I don't care what you think about how he runs his basketball team. Nobody roots for anybody to get sick ever. You're better than that. You have to be better than that. We all have to be better than that.
There's one person I think everybody in this country is rooting to get it.
That's different, though. He's a bad sports owner. He's not a terrible person.
We're hoping for that one person to get it and to come within 28 hours. We're hoping for one.
But Jay, I realize, like, we know, me, John, and like, we know you're joking. And I realize, but like people out there that we're just like when Harvey Weinstein got it, people were talking about like the same. Like, that's different. Harvey Weinstein is a shit human being.
Right.
Like James, I don't know James Dolan personally, but people hate him because he makes bad moves as a
businessman.
As a businessman.
Yeah.
And again, outside of this, you can definitely hate him for running this franchise into the ground. Absolutely. The Knicks have not been relevant for years. But no one should be cheering that he got sick. Like, granted, he has all the resources in the world. 99% chance he's going to be fine. You know, like, he's one of the few in New York that's getting tested. So good for him to have that resource. Because I know a lot of people in New York that definitely have it that haven't been tested for it. And it's truly a bad situation in New York right now. It's real bad. But he's going to be fine like 9 out of 10 times. I hope I don't jinx him on this podcast right here. But... like people on Twitter need to relax cheering that James Dolan got the coronavirus just because the Knicks aren't very good, guys. Come on, get your fucking priorities in order.
That's fair. A lot of
send those thoughts and prayers about that to another person who definitely needs it, and we can hope that he succumbs like within 18 minutes of getting it. Like, listen, let us just let it. I didn't say who. I didn't say who.
The camera off again, like Ben just did. Mike Francesa, that's his name. I know. It's Mike Francesa.
Hey, have a good show, guys.
Right. Sorry, Mike Francesa. That's his name. Francesa.
It's Mike Francesca.
Many years. Is it Cheska?
I believe so. Like the guy from you saw. I believe Mike Francesca is the guy from Mike Francesca. Really? Okay. I thought it was Francesca. Yeah. It's the guy from Uncut Gems, the guy who tells Adam Sandler
right, that guy.
Yeah.
He's good in the film. He's good in the film. I agree. A lot of people were probably cheering about this, which is why Francesa felt he had to say something about it, and he did and put it out there. But, you know, people are, if you create a pattern of, I don't know, meanness to the fans, and you combat and you go at them, and you want to, you know, Charles Oakley, now he's in a mediation right now because Oakley is suing them for unlawful arrest and whatever that happened with him in that situation there at the Garden. Same thing. He does not engender goodwill amongst the fans. So for some of them to cheer it or be happy that he got it, it's not humanely the right thing to do, right? Of course, but you can understand the reaction when you burn so many bridges. You know, I'm telling you right now, if Dan Snyder got coronavirus, I wouldn't be worried about it. I'd be honest with you. I think he's a horrible owner. He's treated people terribly. It's a racist. It's terrible things he's done. I sure as hell wouldn't want to be enjoying that situation with, or wouldn't be like necessarily hurt that Dan Snyder got that thing. So I'm not cheering for it, but I certainly wouldn't have an issue with it if it happened. So
I'm not saying you have to, lose sleep in cold sweats about it, but people shouldn't be, cheering for it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. People shouldn't be cheering for it. Absolutely. I would never cheer for it. All right. We got a couple of people who are waiting to talk to us, and then we'll get into our NBA discussion here. Winston, I don't think is showing up. I don't see Winston. So he's not going to make it in time, unfortunately. So it's the three of us rolling the show. Let it be. Let's move on to Ferris Mathuna. Ferris, let me take the brand down. What's up, brother, man? What you got to say, my man?
How you doing, guys? I'm doing good. How's everybody?
What's up, buddy?
Good.
Yeah, doing good. All right. Yeah, so my question was about the top, the all-time team of the basketball. So I was gonna ask, like, are you guys doing like best team, or just like the 5 best players and just put them on a team?
No, 5 best players on a team. So if it isn't just about the 5 best players, it's which 5 players would be on a team and would beat any other 5 players all time in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, because like if you were gonna do that, then I would have you would make sure like your point guard's Magic Johnson then, right? Because Mark forgot about Magic. Yeah, because I would well, no, I would go with Magic. That's my personal preference because like you would need a man to orchestrate the team. Like he dealt with Kareem, him, James Worthy, and Byron Scott. I know Byron Scott isn't the biggest name, but like the first 3, they coexisted in harmony. So I'm saying Magic could have him, Larry, and Mike could exist in harmony with Hakeem at center, and then you need like LeBron at power forward. I guess you can do that.
Yeah. Well, what's your 5?
Those are my 5.
Okay. You would take Magic, James Worthy.
No. Magic, MJ, Larry, Bron, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, that is not my 5, but I respect that 5 years fair. It's a good 5 to roll with. That's for sure. Appreciate that, man. Do you have any alternates? Do you have any 2 alternates you might throw in there?
Yes. Centers, I would go probably Kareem or Shaq, or and then at 2 guard, Kobe, of course, and then with small forward, maybe Kevin Durant, maybe.
Okay,
possibly.
Right. Well, there you go. That's a good 5. What do you guys think? Good 5?
I like it. Mine's definitely going to be a lot different.
Yeah,
I
think we all collectively have the same shooting guard, no matter what. All of us have Jordan, no matter what.
Yeah, it's not. That's the only thing no one. Of course, Ben is different. Of course,
I have my reasons.
Well, you know what? That hair gel has gone to his head for real.
Yeah,
that's true. It's soaking in.
Is it Manu, Ben? Is that what it is? It's Manu, isn't it?
I mean,
it's Manu. It's Manu.
Could it be?
Manu Ginobili. That's what it is.
My starting 5 is Tony Parker, Manu, Danny Green. Okay,
Danny Green. I respect it. All right, Ferris. Thanks for chiming in, brother. Man, we're gonna get into these right now. Thank you, dude.
Before I leave, I would like to say I was wrong last week. I'm accepting my humble pie. John, you were absolutely correct about last week. Yes, John.
What I miss?
John, you're right, John. You're right. I was wrong.
Say it. What was I right about?
You're right. The Fab 5 isn't that overrated. Yeah.
Why would you say they were overrated? Like, yo.
Because Ferris was dropped on his head as a child, and it certainly comes through in his opinions. Of course, the Fab 5 is not overrated at all. It was one of the greatest basketball teams ever. They just couldn't get the job done in the final game. So you can't fault. You can fault them if you want, but
the infamous timeout that ain't there.
I'm out.
The power forward, I would have probably Tim Duncan. I'm gonna be real with you. I like Tim Duncan.
TD. All right, I respect TD. That's a good call. All right, Ferris. Thanks again, man. Good seeing you. Always good to see you, brother, man.
All right, let me give you my. I'm gonna give you my list. I got my list. You ready?
Go ahead.
All right. So
go ahead.
At my point guard, Isaiah Thomas.
Good.
At my shooting guard, Michael Jordan. At my
I know, but it's the Knicks Isaiah Thomas, right?
Yes. No. It's the Knicks Isaiah.
Yeah, not little Isaiah.
Yeah, not little. No, hell no, not little Isaiah.
Just make it sharp so people don't. Yeah, we
hell
know.
No, it's daddy. For my power forward, so I'm putting him at the power forward, LeBron James.
That's fair.
Small forward, Julius Erving.
Okay.
And my center is Kareem.
Kareem, okay. Who's your shooting guard again? I missed it.
Jordan.
Got it. Who are your two? Who are your alternates?
So my alternate for Jordan is Paul Pierce. My alternate for
Pierce.
Mm-hmm. My alternate for Isaiah, of course, is Magic.
No Kobe.
Nope. I'm not a Kobe dude.
Interesting. All right.
I'm not a Kobe dude.
Pistons Isaiah. Sorry,
Pistons Isaiah. Yeah.
Isaiah. That's my fault.
Pistons Isaiah. Yeah.
My bad. Thank you, Ferris. Appreciate
Bad
it.
Boys Isaiah.
I mean,
Bad Boys Isaiah for sure.
He did coach the Knicks though, so it's not a bad.
I think that's what got me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. Dan Layson understands. Thank you, Ferris. Go blue, Fab 5. Hell yeah. All right. What is your 5, Ben?
All right. So now the reason why I don't have Jordan in my 5.
I love the fact you had to start with a bullshit. I love how you had to start with the bullshit.
Well, I have to get out of the way, and it's because I like I wasn't huge into sports as a kid. I played a lot of sports. I didn't watch a lot of sports. So I'm going off players that I've seen in my life that I can literally say I've seen this guy be the best. So, you know, Kareem, Bird, Isaiah Thomas, those guys, Wilt, they're all-time players, Bill Russell, but they're not going to be on my list because I haven't seen them play. I only know them through reputation. I've seen a little bit of Michael play, and Michael's obviously he's on every list. So I didn't like it's almost like a gimme spot, and I didn't want to put him on my list. So I did kind of break it down, and I'm debating, and I kind of want to let you guys decide. My point guard is either going to be Steve Nash or Steph Curry. Now I don't want to vault Steph. I'm one of those people that's not ready to vault Steph Curry into the greats, but you can't deny how he's changed the game. Him and the Warriors have single-handedly made this a 3-point NBA. They have completely rearranged the game to where you need to get a center that can also shoot threes now. Like that's just a thing.
Yeah.
But I do want to go Steve Nash because I've seen him do it for 10 years. Just like everybody he can give assists to, everybody he can shoot the three, everybody he can cross you up and, you know, steal your lunch, steal your girl, and then shoot a three in your face. So I think I'm going to go Steve Nash for my point guard. My shooting guard, one of them is going to be Kobe because he's all defense plus it's Kobe Bryant. That's really all you need to say. My forwards are going to be LeBron just because he can play that. He's shown that obviously he can play the 3 position. He can play the 4. He can even play the 5 at sometimes. And he's quickly becoming one of the best players of all time. My second, my only big man is going to be Tim Duncan. I thought about Dirk. I thought about Shaq. I thought about prime Dwight Howard. I thought about prime Yao Ming. These guys are all dominated. Yeah, like I forgot about, like I was just looking down a list today. I forgot about Yao because like there's even a video of his rookie game against Shaq and he scores like 8 points in a row on him. And Shaq like was coming out like, I'm going to shut this dude down. I'm going to shut this dude down. And Yao just like racked off buckets in the first few possessions. But I think I'm going to go Timmy as my big man. And I think it's tough to say. I was thinking about Anthony Davis, but I think Anthony Davis is going to be one of my subs because he's shown himself to be such a great flex player coming from this like basic position of, you know, just taking alley-oops, just dunking the ball, having no shot, coming from where he's come from, or Dirk Nowitzki. But I think my 5th player, I'm looking at it now, and I know it's total recency bias, but you know what? I'm going to go Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to go with it. Man. So I've got Steve Nash, Kobe, Kawhi, LeBron, and Duncan. And then my alternates, my heart wanted to put Manu Ginobili on there, but I'm going to put 2 big men as my alternates and put Anthony Davis and Dirk Nowitzki as my alternates. Because you don't need a sub for LeBron. You don't need a sub for Kawhi or Kobe. Those guys have basketball in their blood, and they're never going to want to come out. But LeBron can run the point, and we can put in another big man if we need it.
Damn. All right. I like those choices, bro. I really appreciate them.
And
thought out. Good.
And that's the thing. Like, I totally get, you know, people can come at me for not putting Jordan, Hakeem, Wilt, all these guys.
I get it, but your reasoning makes sense.
Yeah. These are guys I grew up watching. Like, I can't comment on their basketball because I didn't grow up watching them.
Yeah, you got to defend your choices, and I appreciate defending your choices because they are who you actually saw play and who you've seen mostly play, so you can judge their skills based on I'm sure you didn't have time to watch footage of every single player before we got onto the show. So I respect the fact that these are the guys you watched play and your choices there. Hey guys, we're almost we're at 100 and some likes. We're at 110 likes. We're at 130 in here. I would love to get some more likes on this thing. Maybe break that 150 mark. If you're just watching along and you haven't liked it, please give it a like over the next few minutes before we wrap this thing up. All right, here's my 5. It's a little crazy. I can't believe I landed on this, but this is what I think my 5 is. For me, point guard, that's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is my point. No doubt about it for me. That kid can shoot from anywhere. He can shoot from mid-court if he needs to. Kevin Durant is running with him as well. LeBron James in there and Michael Jordan. Those are my shooting forward is Kevin Durant. Michael Jordan, I move him over to shooting guard. We're going to put LeBron power forward. And then Tim Duncan's my center. That's my 5 right there.
That's a 5 right there.
Woo! Duncan at center. I mean, because I just think those guys are going to have the defenses collapsing on them. So Steph's going to be sitting out there for the pick and pop the whole time, just picking and popping. And the way those guys pass and the way those guys play defense. I mean, Jordan, people still don't talk enough about an incredible defender Jordan was.
Let me tell you something. What
Kevin
you did
Durant,
with your list, Rocha, has eyes of the court. You have a list of guys who see the court.
They're all generals.
They're all floor generals.
I will say that actually convinced me, Rocha. I'm taking out Anthony Davis. I'm putting Durant on my subs. Like I legitimately forgot about Durant. I don't know how I forgot about him because he played in Texas, great player. So I'm putting Durant as one of my subs because he's 7 feet tall and can do everything anybody else can do on the court.
Yeah, I like all my guys can hit threes. All my guys can hit threes as well if they need to. Jordan's hit threes. LeBron can hit threes. Duncan maybe not so much as strongly, but I like the fact that he can hold down the middle and he passes so silky smooth. Plus, all of these guys have an overwhelming desire to win. All of them have an overwhelming desire to win. And I think they will, if they have to bully their way to the victory, they'll bully their way to the victory. And that's why I like these 5 right here. It was tough to come to this 5, but I like it. I feel comfortable with it. And my 2 backups, obviously, Magic Johnson will be sitting out there to grab off the bench. And I have to take Larry Bird. Larry Bird maybe not the strongest defender, but Larry can come in and pop those shots. And Larry was a fantastic passer of the ball. And Larry was a great trash talker. So if George's not going to trash talk you on the first unit, Larry Bird's going to handle it on the second unit for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it was hard to keep Shaq off this list. It was hard to keep Charles Barkley off this list because people don't give Charles's game enough love. Charles was incredible.
Well, because Charles doesn't have a ring. Because Charles doesn't have a ring, so everybody tends to ignore him.
Yeah. People were scared to play Charles, man. If you ever watched that highlight of him going court to court, end to end on the court when he got that rebound, Jesus Christ, man, it's scary as hell to watch that man going full speed coming at you to jam the ball in your face, Lord God. So that's why they called him Godzilla for so long. All right, there's our 5. You know what we think, and a couple of alternates to play around with. We've got a couple of people wanted to jump in and give their 5. Suge Knight, you were the first one wanted to jump in. What's up, brother? Go ahead, drop it.
Hey guys, how you doing? I want to give Jay a shout out for mentioning the second biggest point guard in the '80s, Isaiah Thomas. That was a great.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people forget him.
But, a lot of people forget him.
So did the 1992 Dream Team, Suge. You know.
Because of
Christian Laettner.
so when you guys posted about this question, I took it 2 ways. I took it about either being a starting 5 that could play in today's game or play against all the greats of all time. And so my starting 5 is definitely Magic because I always believe I love Magic. My shooting guard is Kobe. My power forward is Bird. My small forward is Bird. My power forward is Duncan, and my center is Kareem. And the 2 guys that I have on the bench that can come in for Kareem and Magic to make this just a stoppable defensive team is Russell and LeBron. Because you take out Magic and you take out Keem. You take out Kareem and you put Russell and you put LeBron at the point. Now this team just stops everybody. There's nobody scoring on because Bird is not a liability. Kobe's not a liability. LeBron's not a liability. And Russell and Duncan can protect the rim from everybody.
You got LeBron on the bench?
Yes, I got LeBron on the bench.
On your bench?
I got LeBron. I got LeBron on the bench only because of Magic and Kobe. Because Kobe, with Magic playing with Kobe, Kobe would not be as ball dominant, but could still score.
Okay.
And then, but when LeBron comes in, Kobe can now control the ball, passing out to LeBron, pass out to Bird, that use, like you said, shoots threes, and Duncan and Russell can get the rebounds, and they can, and then on defense, ain't nobody scoring on them. But I think the one position you guys really forgot about is the coach, and that to me would be Pat Riley. Pat Riley would make this team. It would be like the Knicks. When he had those Knicks that just played defense and we'd be able to shut down anybody. If we played Jordan, if we played Durant, or if we play any other team, this team would be able to shut all those teams down. Jordan maybe would still score 25, 30 points, but this team would be able to contain him, contain his teammates, and they just be able to get by them with no problem.
I respect
so that was my starting 5. Like I said, Jay, really happy you shout out Isaiah Thomas, and all your guys' lists were great, and I don't think you guys made a bad list at all.
Thanks, Shug. Good to see you, bud.
Thank you, Shug. Show was yours. It was fucking great. Thanks, Shug. There's a man there dropping some knowledge. Go ahead.
I really feel like I didn't see Magic play, but just a 6'8", 6'9" point guard really offsets a lot of teams, and I feel like he should be almost like he definitely a first round pick, but just like a lot of us not having him on the team, like Magic. I mean, granted, maybe Magic can't guard Steph or Steve Nash or Isaiah either, but like Magic can put them on the block. Magic can put them on the block, and they'll have to adjust to that. So I definitely would, if I'd seen Magic play more, I would have had him at point guard.
Look, one of the things to consider with Magic, too, is what he did in his rookie year. He did against the Philadelphia 76ers. When Kareem got hurt in that Game 7 in the NBA Finals, guess who played center? Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson played center. Magic can play. He played every
Again, you're
position
6'8". You should be able to play center.
That's fair. That's fair, Jay. But it's a position he had not played in his life. Maybe pickup ball, but had not played in Michigan State or on the Lakers when he was there. So pretty incredible stuff as well. We got someone else waiting for us. Amuru. Am I saying that right? Amuru Moses. Is that right, bro?
It's Amadou.
Amadou Moses. Gotcha. What's up, man? Should have seen that accent.
Doing well. How y'all doing? It's the first time being able to get in on any of these shows, so really happy to talk to y'all fellas. I really enjoy all y'all lists. I feel like you ask 20 different people, you're going to get 20 different lists. For me, true. The way I'm approaching it is I'm going off of 3 things. 1, dominance. If we need to get it into one person just to keep feeding him, that's what I'm doing. So my center is Shaq. Most dominant player I've probably ever seen. So if we have, for any reason at all, we got off shooting, get it to Shaq again and again. The majority of people are not stopping him. Then I'm going, the other 2 are vision and defense. And with that, MJ and LeBron are my power forward and my 2 guard. You need shooting, and for me, that's KD. KD, everybody is very they don't rate KD's defense as high as a lot of other people.
I know, it's crazy.
Especially that last year he played with the Warriors. He was one of their best defensive guys, period. So have KD just sniping everybody. But my one that nobody's mentioned before is my point guard. So not only do you need an orchestrator for your team, but there's got to be somebody on your team who's going to piss everybody off on the other team.
I know what he's going to say.
Completely piss them off, get under their skin, and that's Chris Paul.
I knew he was going to say Chris Paul. I knew it.
You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I looked at CP because I was like, yo, people forget CP is one of the purest point guards in the entire league. He's one of the pure, next to him and Rajon Rondo, they are the purest point guards.
Purest point guard, can shoot when he needs to, plays great defense, can get everybody orchestrated, but can get your best player annoyed like crazy. You need somebody to do that on your team just to get them off their game. After that, my bench is going to be Hakeem coming off the bench because he might be if anybody's read the Shea Serrano Basketball and Other Things, I'm finally reading it. And he talked about what if Shaq and Hakeem actually did that one-on-one. And I would have loved to see that. That would have been a great thing to see. But my backup point guard would actually, I would want somebody who can be just as ruthless coming off, and that's AI. Nobody.
He was my second point guard as well. After Nash and Curry, he was my sub point guard.
AI somebody.
Amadou, I got to give you respect for that one. AI was incredible. Took that Sixers team that had no business being in the finals, dragged them to the finals, and took game 1 against that incredible Lakers team in LA. So that kind of desire and drive and determination to lead that team, that's a damn good choice, man. That's a great choice.
That's what I thought I was when you were talking about who you picked for the start. I was like, it's either CP3 or AI. It's one of those two.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
All right, fellas, appreciate it.
Thank you, Amadou. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks for
great list, brother.
That's a great list.
That is a damn good list. Let's see some other lists up in here. We got some super chats that rolled in that had some lists on them. Hold on. First question is from PRL18. He wants to know who coaches your teams, which is something Ferris was asking about as well.
Phil Jackson.
Ferris.
Phil Jackson.
Suge Knight was asking. Sorry. Yeah, Phil Jackson.
I go Pop or Coach K, honestly. And the only reason I say Coach K is because he coached all those Olympic teams, man. I know Olympics are different. I know, but you're still coaching all first-round starters. You are all coaching people that have never come off the bench in their life.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Let's see what other list we got. Tim Franco chimed in. Tim Franco. He
What up,
said
Timmy?
Oscar Robertson, MJ, Larry Bird, Dirk, and Hakeem. Let's break that list down for a second.
That's a nasty list right there. When you think of Oscar Robertson,
tall list.
Yeah, the big O.
Whew, that's a
Oscar Robertson's good. And I like that Dirk's on there too, because I feel like Dirk, just because he stuck around, he took the pay cuts in Dallas, he gets overlooked a lot. Dirk was so nasty when that year they beat the Heat. He was unstoppable. Every shot he took, you thought was going down. So I like that list a lot.
That step back,
that knee up step back that you couldn't get in the face of.
No matter what, it was an unstoppable shot.
It really was. I hated
choice.
him because of I'm a Spurs fan, so I hated Dirk for a long time, but I always respected him.
Yeah, the Big O and MJ are going to handle your inside scoring. Larry Bird's going to be on the outside there. Dirk as well on the outside, but Hakeem is silky smooth, and Hakeem's going to get the ball to people in places once the defense collapse on him that is effective and get him high percentage shots. So this all works really, really well. I like the way this team looks as well. I'm a big fan of that. I like this one. Suge Knight saying I had Rodman on my bench.
So can I say something about that?
Just in case the game breaks out in a fight.
Because my thing was this. I was like, you don't look at Rodman to be a scorer. Granted, he can.
Right.
You don't look at Rodman to be a scorer.
Yeah.
I was like,
go back and watch those old Pistons documentary. Just enjoy Rodman before the Bulls.
Yep.
Rodman was such a great scorer, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought about having Bruce Bowen out there just to play defense and to sit in the corner for a three.
Like slide under people's legs.
Exactly. You're going to think twice before you shoot under him, baby.
I know Jalen Rose does. Paris Bethuna, he said the most unstoppable shot is the sky hook. It was an incredible shot for sure. And nobody has been able to master it the way Kareem did.
No, that's why nobody tries anymore. Everybody was like, I'm just going to hook. I'm not going to try the same sky hook.
Jake has an issue with your list there, Ben.
You know it, absolutely. All day.
I like Ferris putting this one in. If you need someone to fight it, is Rick Mahorn. That's for sure.
Hey, that's an old school one for some people. People don't understand. Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer had them boxing at a fight.
Oh yeah, put Ron, legitimately. Ron Artest is not a bad basketball player, defensive, and he can hit 1 out of every 5 shots he gets. But if you need a fighter, I'm not
taking Ron Artest. I'm taking Meta World Peace.
Yes, exactly. Meta World Peace. Because who was the guy from the big white guy from UNC, Tyler something? He played he was I don't know, but I remember Ron Artest elbowed him or something, and he turned around. He's like, "What? It's cool, man." And just he saw that it was Ron Artest. He was like, "I'm not gonna do anything." Oh, Tyler Hansbrough. Thank you guys.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you,
I remember that. I remember
when he was on the Raptors.
I remember that because he turned around and was like, "Oh, who hit?" You know what? Let's just go. You know what? I'm sorry. That was my fault. I was in your play. He was like, I was in the way of your elbow. I should have given your elbow space.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have put my face there. Tim said, if we're talking fighters, Udonis Haslem is I'm taking if you're talking fast.
But he wasn't in enough fights for me. He wasn't in enough of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so too. He hasn't been in enough fights for me. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I do want to see Reggie Miller get choked up on somebody's team, though. I just got to see Reggie Miller get choked up.
Reggie was on my list because I've seen enough of Reggie play, even though he's before my time. I've seen enough Reggie highlights that that's the dude that's going to just mess with everybody. He's going to talk that shit, and he's going to hit one in your eye, and the benches are going to clear.
Yep, that's for damn sure. J-Dog chimed in with this one. Jordan, LeBron, Bird, Magic, and Shaq. Pretty simple, straightforward. Those are the sometimes that simple. It can be that simple.
Honestly. They're simple for a reason because they are that good.
I mean, it's easy to be like, yeah, this is fine, but ain't nobody gonna be like, well, you shouldn't. Listen, it's Jordan, Bird, LeBron, Magic, and Shaq, and everybody's like, you know what? You got a point. All right, keep it moving.
That's all right. That's all right. And if you want to fight her, Shaq could probably scare the shit out of anybody trying to fight.
Oh
anything,
my
I'm
gosh!
Sure.
Nobody want to fight Big Shot Diesel. Listen, nobody want to fight Shot Diesel. I swear to God, I hate you. I might not see where you're coming from with my left eye gonna go on his own. My left eye is on this, but listen, I swear to God, I protect Michael Jordan and Kobe. Kobe out there snitching, but listen, I'll be sitting what I gotta do for LeBron. LeBron gonna have to help him, and then Larry Bird, you're a tall white guy. We tall people together. We gotta sit together. We got bad knees.
And that's the thing is, I feel like I don't think Kobe's never. Yeah, I do. I have to watch NBA Classic for sure. I got to catch up and learn my history. But people don't give Kobe enough credit because Kobe was unafraid of anybody. Like him calling Dwight Howard soft. And granted, yes, we eventually learned that Dwight Howard is not the toughest player. But you look at Dwight Howard, that's not a guy. Yeah, you're not gonna call him soft until you And this was right after he left the Lakers. But this was still basically peak Howard, coming down the mountain a little bit, but he was still putting up numbers. And that's the thing, Dwight Howard almost made my list because Magic Howard, people were already putting him in the Hall of Fame after 2 years.
Yeah. When he first came out, Dwight Howard on the Orlando Magic was a monster.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
That Magic team that lost to the Lakers, they were one layup away from making it a 2-2 series. And Turkoglu, Howard, JJ was on that team. That was a scrappy little team, but those players went on to all get big contracts because of that year. Oh, and what's his name? The big white, the Russian guy that's on the Wizards. Your center.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, bald guy. He was Dwight's backup.
Oh yeah, he's not on the Wizards anymore.
He's not.
I don't even know if he's playing in the
Gortat.
NBA.
Thank you, Chris. Gortat.
Oh, Gortat. Yeah.
He got a big contract just playing Dwight's backup.
Ferris Bethune just made a good comment. He said, I'll take New York Knicks legend Chris Childs in the fight. Chris Childs.
Chris Childs
was him and John Starks. Let's go. We're going to go there.
I got no problem with that. Chris Childs. Stupid Stars Music says Curry, Kobe, LeBron, Barkley, and Kareem. I like that. Barkley, there's Barkley in there. Some people were chiming for Karl Malone. The Karl Malone was getting some love in there, but it's hard to separate Malone from Stockton. You kind of needed the 1-2.
And you got LeBron, you don't need Malone.
Yeah, right. If you got
LeBron,
about that, you don't really need Malone. Kind of handles.
That's why I got Nash in there, man. No one Nash made Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire and Tyson Chandler. He was great.
Nash is a great choice. I like this one from Galen Shumway. Jason Williams on point. White chocolate running the point. Jordan number 2. LeBron 3. Duncan 4. And Hakeem at the 5.
Galen's playing at Rucker Park.
He playing and one ball right now.
He's playing and one right there. I got Skip
Robin and Bird on his bench.
I got hot sauce coming off the bench. What you know about it?
That's great. I'll put the professor as my point guard, man. That guy gets buckets and has the handles for days.
I like this. Jason Williams. Dan Lacey was a big fan of Jason Williams. Maravich 2.0 without the scoring. Those assists, though.
that tiny detail without the scoring.
I don't disagree. I loved seeing Jason Williams. Galen Shumway said Jason Williams with an all-star team would be unreal. Yes and no, because I think that would also bring out the worst characteristics of Jason. You see Jason trying to do behind the legs passes backwards. You'd see him trying to do crazy shit because he thinks the guys will bail him
out. In the middle of an NBA regulation game. This ain't a pickup game.
Right?
So, we'll see. I like this. Stupid Stars Music says Jerry Stackhouse, pound for pound, best fighter in NBA history. So I don't know.
Pound for pound is possible. Pound for pound. But speaking of, Nick's owner, Charles Oakley's up there too.
Yeah, true.
Charles Oakley would knock your ass out.
Charles Oakley doesn't and it's not for Charles Oakley. It was real. It wasn't it's just in the game. We're gonna fight, and then I'm gonna dap you up later. No. He's meeting you in the parking lot, and you're finishing it.
Oak is like, please step on me. I don't care. I would not touch anything about Oakley. It's so untouchable. Evan Walker says, I just want to make sure T. Duncan gets some respect. Well, we mentioned him quite a few times.
Yeah, we mentioned him a couple of times.
Respect.
Mr. Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, that's right. Jason Williams and Randy Moss were on the same high school basketball team. Lord Mary, Mother of God.
Well, I played. There's a basketball team in Fresno that had well, I played the Lopez twins in middle school, and they were already like 6'6", so that fucking sucked. We got blown the fuck out that day.
You sound hurt. You sounded so hurt when you just said it.
Like, I was like, who are these? And who are these giant twins? Like, I can't do this. And then there's a basketball team in Fresno that had Quincy Pondexter, who, granted, he didn't turn out like an amazing basketball player, but still NBA, had Quincy Pondexter and the Lopez twins on the same high school basketball team. Like, that's filthy.
Yikes. Two more, and we got to wrap up here. Wiley Henry says, Hakeem, Moses Malone, Fo, Terry Cummins, Charles, and Shaq. That was the first team I ever watched and followed end to end, was the Philadelphia 76ers. I was born in Philly, so I was a big 76ers fan. It was Dr. J. Dr. J was my guy more than Magic at that time, and Moses Malone certainly was incredible and predicted that they would go undefeated in the playoffs. They did lose one game, though, but he thought they would go Fo, win the whole thing, and they did win the whole thing that year. I like Jason Williams with an all-star. Oh, that we already put that. Here, what's the other one? Here we go. Chim Kaskuba. He says, Jerry Stackhouse, Steven Jackson, James Johnson. I don't know who UD is. And Zebo.
No. I think you missed one from Ferris. He put all five, top five fight team. And this is definitely a top 5 fight team right here. That's a fight team right there.
I forgot
about Zebo.
Let me tell you about Zach Randolph. Let me tell you something. As a Chicago, listen, I've changed my. Let me preface this. I am now a good citizen of society. Okay, I try to do things within the parameters of the law and make sure I set a good example to not only my children but to those who look up to me on the internet or whatever.
Yes.
Zebo is what we like to call one of them folks, one of them guys. Zach Randolph is one of them guys. Zebo will put in that work. I don't think y'all understand.
The Grindhouse from Memphis, like with him and Gasol and Conley, that was a team.
Go watch that episode of MTV Cribs when they go to Zach Randolph's crib and he has a 6-point style on the pool table. That is for GDE and Gangsta Disciple Nation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sorry. I didn't want to tell about all that.
He said Zebo punked Blake Griffin.
Which ain't that difficult.
Yeah. I put I don't know how good of a fighter he is, but guys, I can't think of any names right now. The Clippers, when he was playing with Blake Griffin, he's on the Mavs now. DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
I feel like Jordan could today's NBA, we don't get fights like that, but I feel like Jordan could put in some work. That's a big dude right there.
Here we go. Xavier McDaniel, Anthony Mason, Oakley were the Knicks enforcers in the 90s. Yeah.
Mason. I forgot about Mason.
We forget about Anthony Mason because he passed away. But him and Charles Oakley together was and Xavier McDaniel.
Speaking of which, talk about enforcers. Kevin Garnett and Anthony Perkins on the Celtics together. That's a knockdown duo right there.
Yeah.
Because I'm like Joakim Noah has that story of a rookie when he was on the Bulls, like, hey man, I grew up watching you, big fan. He's like, go fuck yourself, and like started the game. Garnett did not play.
Said the entire 90s Knicks team.
Garnett is also one of them guys. Again, Garnett is from the west side of Chicago. Garnett is a thug too. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't understand. It's a lot of street dudes in the NBA. It's a whole lot of street dudes in the league.
One last we got a Streamlabs that came in here. I know we got to wrap up. We got to jump this in. Tim Kaskuba also said Steph, MJ, Pippen, LBJ, and Duncan. MJ is the alpha. Steph's spacing the floor. LBJ is running the offense. Pippen locking down the best perimeter guy on D, and Duncan protecting the rim / rebounding. Best pieces that fit equals best team. Dream, Bird, and Magic on the bench. So I like that. I actually like that.
And I feel like people, everyone's saying Tim is going to guard the rim. Tim has mad offensive game too. He's going to hit those bank shots all day. So don't be discounting Tim's offense. I know he's got him and David Robinson with the Twin Towers back in the day, but Duncan's got that shot too.
Shouts out to Fillmore Pockets in the chat. He said, did I just see Jay Washington throw up the forks? Yep, he's from Chicago. Y'all don't understand about this life. About this life right here. Okay, keep going.
I do. One last super chat came in. This was a while ago, so I apologize. I'm just getting to it. Craig Nelson said, I agree with Jay. The USA is too greedy. There will be a point where companies will want to put money over well-being if this goes. past May. So we will see if that's
Absolutely.
referencing something earlier in the show. But thank you so much for sending that super chat in. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of Game Time here. We went a little bit over 2 hours, but it certainly didn't feel like it. It was a lot of fun.
Not
It's
at
always
all.
fun talking sports.
Well, it was fun. I've been holding and having to pee for the past 45 minutes. So I was like, let's do this. Y'all ain't seen this big ass bottle of water I've been drinking? Like,
sorry. One more super chat. This is from Haskell 420. He's saying that what's his face is stuck in Russia. Khabib is stuck in Russia at this point. So maybe we will not get Khabib in the MMA pay-per-view that was supposed to happen. So we shall see what happens with that. So sorry about that, Haskell. Thanks for reminding me to run that in there. So I appreciate it. UFC's Khabib stuck in Russia because of coronavirus. So his fight versus Tony Ferguson probably won't go off, and probably for the best that it won't go off, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
These MMA fights, I'm not a fan of them still going on for sure. Anyway, all right. So that's our situation. Thanks everyone who joined in on this NBA conversation. That was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do more of those as Game Time goes on every week to week. One question for the last hour. We kind of debate it and talk about it, and you'll get your inputs and your thoughts on it. It's always fun to debate NBA, NFL, all the sports stuff. It's always a good time. I want to thank Jay Washington for being here on the show again today. Jay, where can they find you, man?
Thank you for having me always. It's a fun time. I love starting off the week with some Game Time talking sports with you as always. Ben, it was great having you on the show, and Winston just didn't make it. So it is what it is. He's actually getting himself together, moving into his new place. So he was trying to do some things to make it by. So I kind of understood why he wasn't going to make it. But now I got to actually lock my front door because I left my door open hoping he was just running my house. So if I die after this, that's what happened. But no, as always, Twitter and Instagram right down below. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAY Washington 80. Please help me finally get over 6,000 subscribers. Please. I'm just trying to get over that window. Please. Also, you can check out the Blurs in the Hood YouTube channel. That's me and Winston A. Marshall. YouTube.com/BLERDS, the letter NTHEHOOD, and my Supervillain Squad on Patreon. I'm about to throw up my stand-up shows. So if you've been wanting to see me do stand-up, they are going to be on my Patreon. So only members of my Patreon are going to be able to see it. So you might want to join the Supervillain Squad. Patreon.com. It's at least $5. Patreon.com/Mr. J. Washington.
Get on it. Thank you, Jay. Ben, where can they find you, my man?
Thanks so much for having me, guys. I know I called in a few times, but thanks for, Winston was absent. Thanks for asking me to fill in for him. Those are big shoes to fill. Patreon, same, everything at the Ben Goddard. I'll be streaming later on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Ben Goddard. I know it's free to watch on Twitch. It costs money to subscribe, but you can follow and watch along for free on Twitch. I've been trying to debunk that rumor because I know Twitch isn't YouTube. But yeah, just everything at the Ben Goddard, guys. Patreon, thank you so much, Jake. Appreciate you. And, it's a little bit. I love Jake. But no, just everything at the Ben Goddard, guys. Same with YouTube and all that good stuff. So thanks to John and Jay for having me on. This was, like you said, a quick, easy 2 hours talking about sports. I can do this all day. It's so much fun.
Yep. Same to you, Ben. Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate you filling in, man. I know it was kind of last minute, so appreciate even more that you took the time to be on here for a couple hours with us. Thanks to Cody Hall and Mark Ellis, who both chimed in and called in as well to discuss the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and some golf stuff. And of course, thanks to all of you who chimed in and wanted to ask your questions live with us. It's always fun to talk to you guys personally and hear your thoughts about certain situations. And ladies, if there are any ladies who are watching, ladies, chime in, ask us some questions. Can't just be all dudes now. I know y'all got some thoughts about this shit that's going down. It's certainly come on in next time.
Hey, ladies,
next week we'll be back for another.
We just want to hear y'all.
Well, there goes that chance.
Nope. There were thanks. Now you know what? Now I see why you're not over 6,000. Jesus Christ, Jay. All right, so join us next week at 2 p.m. PT for another live episode of Game Time. Get your questions ready, and I'll start putting out the topics a little earlier so y'all can get your questions ready, and that'll be a lot of fun to discuss. All right, find me at the Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Please like and share this video on your social media and subscribe to the Outlaw Nation YouTube channel right down there. Trying to get over 20,000 sometime in the calendar year. So I'd appreciate your assistance and your help. And we'll talk to you next time on another brand new episode of Game Time. Take care until we see you again.